That's kind of cool.
I don't think it was that cool because
It was cool.
So wait, hold on. You say it was cool. You say it wasn't that cool. Which one is it? Because I'm the only one who doesn't know what's going on.
I don't think it was cool. I think, you know what it is?
And counterpoint?
The
On today's part of my take, we have our good friend Todd McShay. It is draft week. We're going to break down the draft with him. We're doing our draft analysis. We're going to have some more on Wednesday, but we kick it off with our good friend Todd McShay. We're going to talk some playoffs. It is playoff time. We got NBA playoffs. We got Stanley Cup playoffs. We got some overreaction to do to game one. Nothing better than having a game one and being like, well, that's how the rest of the series is going to go.
series over.
Series over.
Home teams will win every game.
Yeah, we're going to do some Who's Back of the Week. We got Mr. Pear, who is now 0-2. Terrible, terrible turtle.
He's awful.
He's a fucking piece of shit.
He's a mush.
He's a goddamn piece of shit. But he will have a pick, and we'll wrap up the show with some other stuff. Before we get to all of that, DraftKings, the 82-game preseason is in the books. It's finally time for the real season. Don't miss out on any of the NBA playoff action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA from the play-in tournament through the finals. From every opening tip to every buzzer beater, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting odds, odds boosts, and so much more. And if you're new to this whole sports betting thing, it's super easy to get started. Try betting on something simple like a team to win. Go to the app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that simple. Monday night, there's a lot of action in the NBA. We got Knicks, Sixers, Game 2. Knicks are 5.5-point favorites. Cavs are also 5.5-point favorites over the Magic. And the Nuggets, Game 2 against the Lakers. It should be a great game. 7.5-point favorites against the Lakers. So here's something else to sweeten the deal for all the new customers. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours with DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TAKE. That's code TAKE to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. It is playoff season. Hank put it perfectly. He said there's no better couple of weeks here where we have game after game after game. NBA playoffs have kicked off. Stanley Cup playoffs have started. PFT.
Yes.
You want to overreact?
Yeah, the Los Angeles Clippers are going to win the West.
Ooh.
Not. They're going
like
to compete.
that.
They're going to compete. Hey, I said that mostly just to get Hank's hopes up because Hank is grasping at all the straws. If you throw any team out there, any one individual player that you think can shut Jokic down, Hank's like, yep, because he just doesn't want to see the Nuggets.
Hank has gotten to the point where he admitted to us that he looked already at the NBA Finals schedule and was saying it's going to be a tough schedule for him. And he was like, game 4's on a Friday in Denver, like going through it like that where it's just set.
Well, he was looking at how it lined up with the show, so he'd have to record.
Yeah, he wants to go on the wood.
He wants to, or he would have to record, I think, at least a couple pods right after games, right?
Yeah, on the wood.
Well, no, I don't want to. I would only try to go to the wood on non-recording nights, but game 1 and 2, which would be home games because Celtics have the best record in the NBA, are on a Thursday and a Sunday.
Well, Hank, you did fire me the fuck up with your tweet, being like, this is it, the 2 weeks, my favorite 2 weeks. I'm happy you took that because I feel like I am guilty of having way too many favorites.
Yeah, what are your favorite weeks? I know that your conference championship week is your favorite week. Feast week is your favorite week.
Yep. Wild card weekend, super wild card weekend.
I like divisional weekend. That's my
I also
favorite
sneaky like conference championship week Sunday.
Yeah.
I just like the variety because it's
So many.
obviously it's also the first 2 weeks of the year I'm really getting into hockey. but it's every single
This is the start of
night.
hockey. Yeah, you get to have your 1 seed Celtics play and also the start of hockey season at the same time.
And every hockey playoff game is just the best. The crowds are crazy, never over.
Well,
It's way different than the regular season.
We should do Mount Rushmore of weeks
Yeah.
for this Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
season. There's a lot of meat on that bone
Yes.
there.
Also-
World Cup week, great week right when it kicks off.
yeah,
I just like the two different sports. That's
Yeah.
where it's,
Well,
it's tough to beat this 2 weeks.
If you do have two teams in the playoffs in the NBA and the NHL, it's a great time. You really can't get anything done at work.
yeah. All right, well, so let's overreact to some games. You want to just go chronological order in the games this weekend, and then we'll do hockey. Because, by the way, like you saying that every second's a heart attack, I feel like the Bruins just spank the Leafs every year. And that might just be a memory of maybe it happened like twice, but it feels like it happens all the time.
No, more than twice. The Maple Leafs are the 76ers of the NHL.
Yeah, that's a good point.
To your specific team.
Yeah, they're always, regular season, crazy fan base, and then they play the Boston team and get smoked
And their fans cause them to lose.
without fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And then they
let's
say it's because of matchup, and it's like they haven't got out of the first round.
Well, their matchup
Ever.
is Samsonov against a hockey puck, and the puck's going to win that one.
Yeah. All right, so let's go through some games. Let's talk some games. They are game one, so let's not totally overreact, but let's overreact. The first game, which was perfect, it was the Saturday noon game, is just a perfect analogy for the Texans game on Saturday for Wild Card weekend. But Cavs the Cavs and Magic are doing throwback basketball. They're playing. They should actually play this. They should play this series in like grainy footage because it is 90s basketball. Defense, both teams are really good defensively. And I'm just going to throw this out here. Bad strategy if you're the Orlando Magic to have your 3 point guards go combined 0 for 17.
Yeah, not good. Not a good one to have. But I think this is going to be one of those series that the Cavs are going to win. I think they'll win both at home. Then the Magic will win a couple at their home.
Yeah.
So the series hasn't even started yet.
They do have to put the ball in the basket though, because the Cavs shot 27% from 3 and they won by 14.
Yeah.
Like it was tough. And again, it is like the Magic have statistically one of the best, or if not the best, defenses in the NBA, and the Cavs are also very good defensively when they ratchet it up. But it was tough to watch. It was hard for them to put the ball in the basket. Did you also see in this game, we had the first 2 minutes, Jake, maybe take off your headphones, don't listen to this part. We had the first 2 minutes of the game, there's technical difficulties, no announcers, and it was so nice.
It matched up perfectly with this game.
It was so nice.
Because it was like you're going back in time a little bit. With the announcers, sometimes this happens. Like once a year, it'll happen in a football game where you get, usually like college football, maybe like the third-rate Big Ten game, the sound audio issues cut out for like 10 minutes, and you're like, it's kind of nice just hearing the sound.
Nice.
Let the game talk.
We don't need anyone telling us.
In fact, some of the best things that we ever said to Joe Buck, like, you nailed that call because you didn't talk. You let the moment breathe. Maybe they should just not talk all the time. I would love to hear Tony Romo not talk. I could listen to Tony Romo not talk for hours.
Jake, do you think there was like an emergency text message with like Ian Eagle, like Kevin Harlan, Jim Nance, like they figured out that they don't need us?
No, that'll never happen. People say that, and after 10 minutes, they'll be like, all right, it's nice to happen. We just spent 10 minutes last week on this show talking about how much Vern Lundquist means to the game of golf.
That's
Golf
vibe.
is different.
Yeah.
Golf is different. And also Vern is a legend.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you guys trash
I don't know.
announcers.
No, but it was nice. It was just nice. Maybe it was because like just hearing the crowd all juiced up.
Yeah, because no one talks about when announcers are good. People just love to trash them.
I'll tell you
That's
what.
it.
No,
I'll
we
tell you
literally
what,
you just said Vern Lundquist.
No, I'm just saying, like,
We
the
said that.
the casual fan is just, they're only saying bad things about broadcasters.
Jake, are you concerned at all that one day they'll just come up with AI?
Yeah.
And they'll have AI Brent Musburger
No.
announcing a game, and we'll be like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Never. Maybe
AI
they'll give an
John
alternate
Madden.
version.
Oh, AI John Madden would be great.
Sign me up right
an
now.
alternate version with Nat sounds, but no. I think within sports media there will always be a need for playback.
You know what it is? It's way more easy to tolerate if it's at a home game.
Yeah.
And you get the crowd vibe. If this was in Orlando and the Magic was playing that poorly and get the shit kicked out of them, it would feel awkward. It would be like, this is cringe.
Well,
I need to hear something just to make me feel not weird.
yeah, and it was also the way the game started. The 90 seconds that there was no announcer. I think it was Max Strus hit a 3, and then Donovan Mitchell hit a 3, and it was like the place was just fucking going nuts.
Yeah. I don't know what it says about me, but every time I watch the Heat play, I'm like, Max Strus is definitely still on that team somewhere.
I'm hoping Cleveland can win a series because little fun fact, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Dan Gilbert has never won a playoff series without LeBron James.
But he wrote that Comic Sans letter that told me that they were going to win a title before LeBron did.
Yeah, he's never won a playoff series.
Interesting.
So actually, maybe the playoffs haven't started for him.
They haven't started.
He's never won a playoff series.
Yeah, Cleveland's fun, and honestly, I think the Magic are fun. They're a little bit young.
They just can't score
They need
the
to
basketball.
make a couple additions here or there. You know what? They need
Point guard.
They need Mo Wagner.
Yeah, point guard.
Yeah.
They 0 for 17 point guards. Tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's not great. I'm just excited to watch a series where it just the total just keeps ticking lower and lower. I think it was like 208. Now it's the game 2 is 202. I wouldn't be shocked if we get to like the 190s, low 190s, because they're, again, a lot of great defense, but also some not great shooting.
Yeah.
Okay. Next game we had on Saturday, Suns and T-Wolves. Just a general thought to before we talk basketball, the T-Wolves should just stick with their throwbacks. Those are so clean. The center court, the home whites, they're so clean.
Yeah, we go through this. It's like cyclical with a lot of teams where you long for their throwbacks, and then they are the last team to change up their old uniforms. And you're like, these look corny as hell, and you desperately want to change. And then 10 years goes by, you're like, damn, those were way better than these.
Right, because I think their regular ones are just kind of like new age, with the font, like the blue and the lime green kind of thing.
Yeah. Like Seahawks.
Great throwback.
They're kind of like Seahawks vibes. The old ones with the like solid green, the green that's like Ninja Turtle green in your face.
Yeah,
I like that.
This game, passing the torch.
Anthony Edwards is a legit superstar now.
That was so awesome. That was such a great moment because if people missed it, Anthony Edwards played great. The T-Wolves were awesome, and he was talking so much shit to KD. And KD was kind of laughing about it.
He couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, you're right. You're kind of dunking on me right now.
And it wasn't KD's fault. KD played well. I think the Timberwolves were basically like, let's just let KD play iso ball and eliminate Booker, who was a no-show. But it was a cool moment. And here's my fun stat. I have some fun stats for every game. Here's my fun stat for this game. Rudy Gobert had 16 rebounds. The Suns as a team had 28.
It's pretty bad.
They were.
No
it
toughness.
was crazy how many second shots the T-Wolves got, and just were so much more physical. And why don't the Suns get more shit?
Well, here's the thing about the Suns. They're missing Chris Paul.
They are missing
They're
Chris
missing
Paul.
Chris Paul big time. That's one. And then you've got a bunch of teams in the West that are now playing to determine who the real problem. Who was the guy that was responsible for fucking up the entire Nets experiment?
Yeah, but
And KD, he's just not tough.
But it doesn't it feel well? He did play well. His teammates did not. Like that's the point. Is like it was. If you go down the list, right? If the Bucks go out early, that's a big story. Giannis goes out early. If the Clippers, oh my God, another failed year. The Lakers, like all these teams, the Celtics, they lose before the finals. Big team. I feel like if the Suns lose, everyone's like, oh, okay. Even though that they are another big three, quote unquote,
They should have been,
with Beal, Booker, and Kevin Durant, I feel like they kind of skate by.
Yeah.
Again, this is an overreaction. They easily can win this series, although I don't know how they're going to rebound if Rudy Gobert is going to do that every game.
Just 2 years ago, we had the Suns and 4 guy.
Yeah.
Suns were looking good.
Remember him?
Future looked bright. Yeah, that
He
guy.
came on the show.
Yeah,
he came on the show. That's quite a moment.
The guy was awesome.
He was.
The guy
he
was
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, they were punishing the Nuggets, right?
Yeah.
And how quickly things have changed.
Yeah.
Obviously, injuries have a lot to do that. And you're right. Like KD he's not the problem, but building a big three out of Booker, KD, and Beal, it's a soft big three.
Right.
It's the
And
soft.
they don't get in a lot of shit. I don't know. Like if they get bounced in the first round, I don't know. Well, people just be like, oh, well, Katie's kind of old.
They need somebody that can light a fire on it. They would actually.
Timberwolves are the higher seed.
I understand, but the Suns are, when they were constructed, everyone's like, they're a problem.
Yeah, they need to.
Right?
They need to get a psycho on that team.
Booker needs to go up a level. That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Whenever you have disappointments, like,
I guess
you know,
Grayson
listen,
Allen's kind of a psycho, though.
Grayson Allen's a good basketball. He got
Yeah.
paid. He just got paid a lot of money. All he does is hit threes, and he still wears those weird Forrest Gump ankle braces, which always make me laugh.
Mhm.
He turned his ankle in this game. Okay, T-Wolves in 4. Whoever wins game 1 is 4.
5.
That'll go 6 or 7.
Yeah, I do too. I
No,
think so
5.
as well. Booker has to play better. What did he end up? I think he ended up with like 17 points, which
He had
the way they're built,
18.
the way they're built, like KD, Booker, Beal have to score 70 points at least. And so I'm putting that one on him. I'm not putting that one on KD. I'm putting that one on Booker. So maybe I'm the one who's soft and giving him a pass. Knicks Sixers. What a game. Garden was rocking. I was actually going to give Max if the Sixers had won this game, I was going to give Max a big compliment because it felt like this was the dawning of a new Max because Embiid goes down on an awesome dunk. Looks like the season is over yet again. And then Max, I went to look and see if he was spiraling, and he just had Sixers second half game of the year. Now, they ended up losing the game, but they did cover the second half. Max, I think it honestly just comes down to the fact that the Knicks, like, role players are better than the Sixers role players.
Yeah, I mean, it's game 1. This is
Overreactions, though.
Yeah. If you
Deuce McBride in your face.
Yeah.
21
is
points.
Deuce McBride going to do that every game? I mean, if you were to
You know
say
who's
that
not
about,
going to? Tobias Harris is never going to do
No,
it.
he's terrible. But, I mean, we had Nick Batum go for 25 the day before. They didn't show up yesterday.
Yeah. How many points did he have?
I think he had 3.
Like 3 points? Yeah.
It's and role players do play better at home
Yeah,
in playoffs,
for sure.
so that's definitely part of it. Where like
I mean,
Josh Hart scored more than he usually does.
Josh Hart was made in the end of the game. Josh Hart made every single shot. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have games like that, and they won by 7 points.
I'm interested to know, like, mentally where you're at when you're watching this game. When Jalen Brunson does something awesome, is there like a quarter of a second where you're pumped up and then you have to be
No.
like, oh, shit.
Well, Brunson kind of played like shit.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like
He gave all the credit to Deuce McBride.
Yeah.
when any of those Nova guys, when they do something cool for a second, just a second, are you like, oh, that was awesome?
Josh Hart, no. Brunson, there's just a special place in my heart for Jalen Brunson. So it's tough, but like, no, he's the enemy right now. He's the enemy. But
Dante, good Italian boy.
I know. I love Dante too.
Dante.
Valeted his car when I was in college.
Did you scratch it up?
Whoa.
No. I was joking.
No, I was just thinking about it because I was gonna. I don't think he tipped, and I remember I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
no.
Well, college kid.
yeah,
College kid. Before NIL.
before NIL.
NIL, he would have given you like $100
Yeah.
grand.
Well, he was going to like a really nice steakhouse, so
Interesting.
Oh, so Jay Wright maybe paying the players off the books?
that's
How is he affording that? What kind of car?
it was the shittiest car ever.
What did it smell like?
I don't know. Probably smelled like a college kid's car.
Okay.
What
like
does that
weed.
smell like?
Like weed. It smelled like weed. So Jay
No.
Wright had players getting free meals left and right and just
Not true.
hotboxing their cars.
Not true.
Yeah. So where's your head at for this series? But Embiid,
Made of glass.
Hank, I would like to get your take on Embiid.
What do you mean? He came back in the game.
But like again, I don't want to be a hater, but it's like
This isn't even about you. Why? Like,
I was going to ask a question.
I asked for his thoughts because there's nothing better than when Hank can smirk and just be right about this.
Well, the playoffs, if you make it to the finals, it's a long run. Like, how many games do you think Embiid has in him?
One game in, he's already.
Yeah.
7?
I don't think they're gonna win the fucking finals. I'm just trying to take it one game at a time.
When he falls,
See,
you
that's
think
the
he's
new
hurt.
max. That's the new max.
Every single time he falls down, you're like, oh, that's the end for Embiid.
Yeah,
8 months.
that's a problem. I have go ahead, Max. What do you think? The allegations Embiid made of glass. Learned how to fall better. Remember when
Yeah.
Max said that for like 3 months
No,
straight?
that was the thing because everyone's like he falls, but
Yeah.
he was told to fall because it's better for injury than trying to brace the impact.
But he also gets injured more than anyone in the world.
That's not true.
Did you see-
Anthony Davis gets injured all the time.
Yeah, Max is stealing my take.
Yep.
Max was saying, like, yeah, he gets injured, and then 5 minutes later, he's going to be back in. I was like, well, it could be worse. It could be Anthony Davis. Every time he gets injured, he like leaves the game for 15 minutes and goes to the locker room, and then he comes back. You're like, oh shit, I thought he was dead. Somehow he's out here playing. So yeah,
I
Embiid-
respect that. You always if you're boxed in as a fan, you got to just find someone else and be like, no, that guy.
He's way worse.
Yeah.
You're correct about that take, Max.
Zion too, always hurt.
Zion, good
Yep.
point.
Yep. Glass.
Good point. Zion.
And Joe came back and had a good game.
Jonte Porter's not even playing anymore.
You could be gambling on games, get a lifetime ban. Didn't do that.
Yeah. What
Huh,
about
Hank?
What about Giddey? How come we're not talking about Giddey? He's in the
Yeah.
playoffs too.
Yeah,
What
he
the
shouldn't
fuck?
be playing.
That was shout out our guy Michael Malone
Just
giving Giddy a compliment.
unprompted.
Yeah, it was all strictly on the court.
Yeah. Yeah. He said, he dealt with some stuff off
Yeah.
on between the lines.
Yeah. All right. So not made of glass. Okay, I have another question for you, Max. Buddy Hield.
He's streaky shooter.
Okay, why doesn't he shoot?
There is
He
something
doesn't
out there
shoot.
when Embiid is on the court, like he's like scared to shoot.
It's crazy. He's there to shoot the basketball, and he doesn't shoot.
There was one possession at the end of that game where it was just like an in rhythm shot that we needed to go down, and then I think we ended up like getting a shot clock because we just didn't get a shot.
He
up.
doesn't shoot.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like his whole reason for being there is to shoot, and then he just won't shoot.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
What are the fans in Philly going to chant? You can't chant MVP this year, obviously. When Maxi's shooting free throws, are they going to chant for most improved player?
MIP.
MIP?
That'd
Yeah.
be kinda cool.
MIP.
He
that.
was awesome.
MIP.
He was good.
Maxi
I-
is great.
He was good last year though. Why does he win the MIP?
Well, he was the number. He wasn't as good last year.
No, I know, but he was good.
Yeah, it's really just going from the number 3.
It's all
to the number 2.
relative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year you said build around Maxi, and I made fun of you for that, and I would like to rescind that take.
He's
I think
very
that
good.
he is very good. But
Very good.
actually, no, I don't rescind that take because he's very good now. He's the most improved player for a reason. Back when I said it, I was right. And now I'm right for acknowledging that he is good. Credit
Credit
me.
to you. Yeah, credit to you.
Huge credit to you.
Do you think that the Sixers coaching staff and players goes over end of game situations and if you're down 5 with 45 seconds left, the only way to win is to foul or
Yeah, but teams don't foul in the NBA. It's crazy. They just don't. It's you get distorted watching college basketball where it's like they'll start fouling with 3 minutes left. I don't understand it.
it was mathematically impossible.
I agree with you. They don't.
They were playing defense to hope to get the ball back with 7 seconds
Yeah.
left to then have to hit a 3 to then have to get the ball back.
Well,
They
don't
just
worry,
don't do it.
because Nick Nurse says that he has some tricks ready to go.
Yep.
Oh,
He's got some tricks. I don't know what Nick Nurse's tricks are going to be, but reports are out there that he has established tricks and discussed some tricks.
The
for end of
quote,
game.
Nick Batum hinting potential tricky stuff
tricky
Okay,
stuff.
but-
for
all right.
Game 2 adjustments for Nick Nurse. Last night we know what we did wrong, and we found a way, I think, this morning to do something special with us. I won't tell you what.
Tricky stuff.
Doing tricks, finding tricks, is that one step ahead, before the panic button?
I'd say if you're finding that's a panic move.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like to have to go game 2, we need the tricks.
Yeah, you can't beat him straight up.
And we got to throw some sand in their
That's not
eyes.
true.
Okay, Joel, you're going to get on your hands and knees and bark like a dog, and then they'll look at you, and then Max will just drive to the hole and dunk
You
it.
see if we had a ladder underneath the arena, we can hit him with
Yeah.
He's got to get
It's
the
one
tricks.
game.
He's
What are
watching
the what's a
Globetrotters tape
panic
tonight.
move?
Tricks.
It's one game.
If it's early to go to the tricks.
Yeah, but what if the tricks are awesome?
So where are you on your we won't say panic button. Where are you on the tricks meter?
I mean,
You
the
need all the tricks right now?
This is a must tricks game.
Yeah, you must
Sixers are
trick.
going to win the series. Sixers are going to win the series.
Oh.
Plus, I think it was plus 250.
Soul patch?
No, I'm already really invested, so I don't think that I have to do any bets.
Okay. I do think I did want to commend you though. I feel like it's a dawning of a new Max. You were way more
Yeah, no, it's something about the Knicks. Like, I don't know, Knicks fans are annoying, and they get so cocky, and I'm like,
Now, you want to talk about
They also
hockey
haven't won
'cause
shit. It's kind of like the
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Hank is just loving every second of this. He's
Hank
fucking
shouldn't be able to talk
Hank's
on this.
literally scheduling his
Cut his
trips
mic.
to Denver.
The New
Yeah.
York Knicks are the absolute.
You're in the booth.
They're legendary. They're incredible. Their fan base is awesome at winning a playoff game and then getting way ahead of themselves.
And I love it.
So they started the "We Want Boston" chant after
oh,
this game.
that's not even next
no,
round.
no.
Yeah, rent free, Hank.
I mean, they shut down 7th Ave after they won one game against the Hawks and lost the series in 5.
Yeah, but it was sick. Those videos.
Yeah. Also,
that was their
big
first
bong.
playoff win in like 10 years.
Also,
at
that
the
was
time, right?
the crowning of future superstar Trae Young in that series.
That's a fact. Okay, the night game, Lakers Nuggets. I fucking love the Lakers and Nuggets because it's literally the same thing every time. Lakers come out to a lead. LeBron has a great first quarter. If you look at just the stats, you could tell yourself that Anthony Davis and Jokic were like played to a stalemate. But if you watch the game, Jokic controlled everything, and the Nuggets, like as soon as the Lakers need like someone other than Anthony Davis or LeBron James to do something, the Nuggets just like kick their ass and they win by what they end up winning by.
They won
by 11, and everyone's like, Lakers are so close.
Yeah, well, the first half,
But that's what happens in every one of these games.
The first half was really close, and then if you know ball at all, you load up on the Nuggets in the second half because it's not sustainable what they're doing. And the Nuggets, they can just beat you in too many ways, and Jokic is just too smart of a guy to let you do the exact same thing for 2 halves and get away with it.
It's actually really nice that the Nuggets do this for the discourse because everyone just gets to go out on their shows and be like, Lakers are right there. They're so close.
Which I like. I really I love it actually because it allows us to then be very disappointed in LeBron when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean like
they trick you into thinking that they're good enough to compete and good enough to beat the Nuggets. The Nuggets are just on a completely different level from them. They played probably like a B minus game and won by 11.
And look, we like Nick Wright, he's a friend of ours, but like he does his like first quarter, he's like, no one's ever gonna see this again with LeBron James. LeBron, it's insane what LeBron is doing at 39. He does not have the stamina to do it for 4 quarters. Like you saw it. He scored, I think, maybe 2 or 4 points in garbage time with like under a minute left in the fourth quarter. He runs out of gas, and no one else, like the other guys have to do stuff, and they're not able to. D'Angelo Russell was terrible, and he's
Real
got
bad.
it. And they just also, I like the Lakers just stop running plays when like as soon as Jokic starts taking over the game, they're like, all right, let's just go start chucking some threes and hope this works. And it doesn't work.
We just get hot. If we turn into just 1 half. If we're up by any points or if we're tied at halftime, let's just try to get to the second. And all we have to do is win 1 half, and anyone can get hot for a half. So everyone just keeps shooting it. Somebody's gonna be hot. Hopefully that'll work its way out. It's not going to work its way out against the Nuggets.
It's just I love these two teams playing against each other because just it's the same game every single time. And it's did you see? I gotta find it. Jamel Hill's tweet from last year has become a meme that people were using, were copying, and everyone was like people were confused. But she said this last year: a win is a win. I think it was after game 1. But if I'm Denver, I treat this like a loss. Lakers figured out something by putting Hachimura on Jokic. That's one of those somewhat small adjustments that can win a series. No, it's not. No, it's not. The Nuggets are better than the Lakers.
Yeah, Hachimura is not. Sorry, Hank. He's not the Jokic stopper.
Yeah.
You have to keep looking for somebody else. Because it's not going to be anybody on this Lakers team. Like
I don't know, LeBron and Anthony Davis.
But you know what I mean?
Little magic.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you look at the box score, you're like Anthony Davis was very good, and you're like, oh, okay, he went toe for toe. He ended up with 32, 14, and 5, and Jokic was 32, 12, and 7. So you're like, oh, like that's what you got. Anthony Davis played Jokic to his. But that's just not. If you watch the game, Jokic just controls everything. The game is in the palm of his hands.
The series, frankly, was over when Jokic stepped out of his car wearing the outfit from Despicable Me.
Dude.
He was dressed up as Gru before the game.
I love him so much. The fact that he doesn't really do that much advertising, and then he was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna be the main advertiser for Despicable Me 4.
Yeah, it was great. it was
fucking awesome.
It was awesome. And I actually kind of like his commercial where he's talking about
it's great.
Saving up miles to go to Serbia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Despicable Me promo was awesome.
It was
where
really
and all the what do they call them?
Minions.
The Minions.
Yeah,
I've watched it. It's actually a very funny movie.
Trust Free, I've never seen it.
I watched it with my kids, and it's a
They're
great,
like massively successful.
yeah.
movies.
It's a perfect
I've never seen them.
kids movie because the minions like fall and like they bump their heads and they
make the
speak
squeaky
gibberish. So it's like a lot of like
Michael Scott.
kids laughs.
Yeah. Would I be totally lost if I just watched Minions without watching Despicable Me?
Wait, no,
No, Minions have their own movie.
oh,
they have their own
okay,
movie,
yeah.
yeah.
That
I
was
think
what
I might have watched
dressed,
that.
Dressed up to.
They have their own ride at Universal.
See, I just want to.
Minions is the most recent one.
I just
I
want
think
to
there's
jump.
Four?
I think there's multiple Minions.
Which one did I watch?
You might have watched just
Minions was the one everyone dressed up in like tuxedos too.
I think I just watched
and
Minions.
went to the movie.
I might just hop right in, just cold turkey, right into Minions without any of the lore or the backstory.
I watched Minions.
Memes is raising his hand. Yes, Memes, you may talk.
Minions is a prequel to Despicable Me.
Oh,
Yeah, because is Minions the one where like they show like the history of time with the Minions?
Yeah,
I saw Minions. Great movie.
in England, and
Yes.
then they meet
Yeah.
Little Gru, and then
They do like a Forrest Gump Minions
So
kind
Max
of thing.
pulled up the official timeline. So there
Okay.
was the original Despicable Me in 2010, and then there were 2 Minions versions that are prequels, but they were filmed out of order.
filmed.
Well,
This is
they were released out of
No,
order.
it's
because
based on a true story.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a documentary.
the second one.
Wait. So you're implying that there's an entire Minion verse that exists just like the normal universe does, where everything that happens in our life also happens to the Minions.
Yeah.
So like 9/11 happened to the
Yes.
Minions.
No.
They did. They went through it all. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like JFK,
yes.
a Minion JFK.
There were many good Minions.
On
Yeah.
all sides.
Larry Nance just scored his 8th point.
He turns into Squidward.
I just love I love this Lakers Nuggets series. Do you think
Patrick,
the Lakers can do it, Hank?
I want to believe.
I mean, I'll look really stupid, but I think the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are. We do it all the time in sports, where a team won a title and then they maybe aren't as dominant the next year, and everyone's like trying to poke holes. And it's like the Nuggets when they're all healthy and it's those 5 guys, they're just really fucking good.
Yeah, they're a problem. I'll be just rooting best case, or at the very least, just for some 6-7 game series.
Or to get tired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You want to see.
you're already doing the rest, like you want to wear down. We're 2 months away from the NBA Finals.
Yeah, hopefully it's 2 months of war.
Hank wants Jokic after like 3 games to be talking about going back to his horses already.
Some are saying you're kind of scared because why
Nuggets
wouldn't
are
you?
good.
No, but if you're so good, why wouldn't you say, "Hey, we're so good, we don't care. However we get there, whoever we play, however much rest they have, it doesn't matter. We're the best team." You're already trying to do. You're one step away from panic button. You're trying to do tricks. You're doing tricks on it, little bro.
No, I'm giving the Nuggets the respect they deserve. They're
Low key glazing them.
Yeah.
they're fucking good.
Yeah, they are. They're really good. And the thing about, like, we talked about this with Michael Malone, excuse me, when we interviewed him last week. But I don't think they've reached the point where anybody really hates the Nuggets, right? On a national level,
No,
we're still like this.
definitely not.
This is beautiful basketball
Jokic
to
is
watch.
unhateable.
They're fun. I think they got 2 more. They got 2 more chips in them before they become hateable.
I don't even know how you would hate. Where would you start with Jokic to hate him?
The Jokic brothers a little shady.
No,
Michael
No.
Porter Jr. a little shady.
No.
Family a little
Actually,
shady.
Michael
No,
Porter
he's a
Jr.
great guy.
Shout out Michael Porter Jr. because him having I would not stand in front of the media and take that question where they were like, "Hey, so one of your brothers going to jail and the other one just got kicked out of the NBA. How you feeling?" And he answered it like very, very well, very eloquently. He gets my MVP
I think
of
he
the
said,
weekend.
I think he said like I have 12 brothers in this locker room with
Yeah,
me.
I think he said 15.
15
he was
brothers.
doing the math in his head, being
Okay.
like, "Wait, we got G League 2-way guys."
Yeah, the trainers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not even close to being hateable. The only way that Jokic would become hateable is in the Patrick Mahomes vein, where you don't hate him because he's a bad guy. You hate him because he just prevents you from winning championships.
Yeah. Hank, True Serum Hank. Can I do a True Serum Hank segment?
Sure. I'll also quickly say before, if the Lakers get blown out next game, LeBron will not finish the series.
Oh, okay.
He'll pull an injury. He did it Saturday night. I think him and Anthony Davis missed like 4 layups in a row at the end of the game. And I said it out loud. I was like, this is fake injury territory. And the next play, he fell, held his arm, and was on the ground doing the thing where like he was looking around to see if people bought how injured he was acting, and then got up. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, True Serum Hank. You have to answer this as truthfully as you can. How many injuries are you rooting for?
None. None. I don't want to win like that.
It can't be 0.
No, I don't want to. You can't put that into the world. You truly can't.
You basically were just saying that you wanted Embiid to get hurt.
No, I was pointing out that
that's like saying the sun will rise.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't want Embiid to get hurt. I can just look at data and history and acknowledge that he is made of glass. Like the stats and the fact every playoff series he's, out of gas, hurt, whatever it may be, he just doesn't.
Bring up those stats.
Yeah, Hank.
All right, Hank, Wednesday.
Bring up those-
Give us
yeah.
a report.
Bring up those-
Wednesday, he'll give us a report.
The playoff injury stats.
Just to put a little a bow.
What about just when he was out of shape?
You said injury. That out of shape isn't glass.
Mental injury.
To put a bow on what Hank said earlier regarding the NHL, the Maple Leafs Bruins. This Max sent this over. This is a very funny stat. So in the postseason, the Maple Leafs and the Bruins, Toronto has won 40 games. Boston has won 42. So Boston just barely edges the Leafs out. They're tied with 8 series wins each. And then at the bottom of the screen, you look at it. The last time the Maple Leafs beat the Bruins in a series was 1959.
Wow. So domination.
Domination.
Spanking.
Yes.
Spanking. All right. Before we get to Sunday's games, quick word. If you're trying to go to an NBA playoff game, use Game Time. Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You can go to some baseball games. Cubs are home all week. I went to the game today. Beautiful. The weather's starting to turn. It's baseball weather. You can go to, why don't you look up, Hank? Give me tickets to the Cubs this week. Prices. So Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have flash deals for sudden discounts.
I'm seeing some flash deals for $3.
Whoa, okay, yeah, weekday, still April. I like that. So you go to Game Time right now. You can go to a baseball game for $3. Zone deals for when you're feeling flexible, and their lowest price guaranteed means that if you can find the same seats for less anywhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time is the best place for last-minute seats with up to 60% off your favorite events. What are you waiting for? Hank's going to buy those tickets right now, so take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app. Last-minute tickets, the lowest price guaranteed. Okay. Sunday. Celtics. Heat. Apologies. Mr. Pear and the Bulls choked on Friday night. Can I, since we didn't have a show after Friday night, permission to just see red for a minute here?
Yep.
Just a real quick minute. The Chicago Bulls are a joke of an organization. Jerry Reinsdorf is one of the worst owners, if not the worst, in the NBA. He's a fucking clown. And I need people to understand, because what happens with a franchise like the Bulls, because they have the history of Michael Jordan and the 6 titles, and they, had Derrick Rose, who that was just to remind you, was a 1.7% chance to win that lottery. It was the second longest odds ever. I think the Shaq lottery was the longest for the Magic. So they had Michael Jordan, and other than that, they like to sell on nostalgia and nothing else, and not put out a competent, competitive basketball team. I have some stats for you, because I want people to realize that Jerry Reinsdorf is so bad. And because of the history of the Bulls, you think that organization isn't that bad, but they are that bad, and they are that pathetic. And Jerry Reinsdorf should be put on blast all the time on a national media basis everywhere, because he's a joke. So in a league where more than half the teams make the playoffs, that's not even counting the play-in. I'm saying it's more than half the teams make the playoffs because I think it was 30 teams and 16 teams make the playoffs. The Chicago Bulls have made the playoffs 2 times in the last 9 seasons. 2 times. They're back-to-back 9-10 game champions, and that's it. So they've made the playoffs 2 times in the last 9 seasons. Since 2014-15, which was the last Tibbs, Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler year, they have won 3 total playoff games. 3 playoff games. They have more playoff wins in the last 9 years than just 2 franchises in the NBA, the Magic and the Pistons. They have more playoff appearances in the last 9 years than just 2 franchises, the Kings and the Hornets. If you told someone Kings, Hornets, I know the Kings have turned it around the last 2 years, but Kings, Hornets, Magic, Pistons, people don't put the Bulls in that group. Mm-hmm. The Bulls are in that group. They should actually be very much in that group. They're a fucking joke. I went through it. If you took out the 2 Boylan years, which were Jim Boylan was one of the worst coaches ever. The Bulls were not trying. The last 12 seasons since Derrick Rose got hurt, the Bulls are averaging how many wins a year?
35.
41, which is by design. That's exactly what they want. Here's a quote from Jerry Reinsdorf. You ready for this? Sports is a business is a business of failure, but the fact that you finish second or third or fourth, it doesn't mean you had a bad year. I think the important I think the important thing to fans is, well, they want you to win championships. They want you to know that when they get down to the last month of the season, you still have a shot. You're still playing meaningful games. If you can do that consistently, you'll make your fans happy. This is all by design.
Define meaningful.
Yes, it means get into the playoffs.
You think the play-in that qualifies, that checks the box off for him as being a meaningful, because it's essentially you're playing a mini playoff series.
He does not care about winning titles. He cares about winning 41 games, having some games down the stretch where people can tune in and be like, will the Bulls make the playoffs? And the reason why he does that is because 9 out of the last 10 years, not counting the two COVID years, the Chicago Bulls have led the NBA in attendance. He does not give a fuck. He wants to build a team to never go over the luxury tax. The Bulls are the only team in the NBA who have not made a single move at the trade deadline in the last 3 years. That's the whole design. The whole design is to put out a team that is exceedingly mediocre to get people into the stands and to never actually try to win a championship.
Well, he's focusing all of his energy on the White Sox and building them up.
But he's a joke. I want people to realize, because it does trick you when you think of the Bulls and you think of MJ. They are no different than the Pistons, than the Magic, who are in the playoffs, who've actually built it. And actually, those teams, the Pistons, the Magic, the Hornets, the Kings, they've actually at least been bad enough for stretches where they get top 3 picks. Mm-hmm. The Bulls' only chance of getting a top 3 pick is getting a 1.7 lottery shot where they get Derrick Rose, and then they blame his injury on the next 10 years. And they are a joke of an organization. Jerry Reinsdorf is the worst owner. He's a piece of shit. He does not care about winning. He just wants to take your money, have you sit in there and be like, oh, they won 41 games. Maybe they have a shot. Fans are smarter than that now. They never had a shot. There was a joke what happened against the Heat. They would have gotten killed by the Celtics. It doesn't matter. They suck. Jerry Reinsdorf, fuck you, dude.
That's what I respect about European soccer fans, is when the owners fuck with them like this.
Yeah,
they riot. But they'll show up with flares. They'll throw eggs at the guy's car on the street. In America, we're just yeah, this sucks.
He's literally admitting that he does not care. He just wants to. He wants to sell tickets and be just good enough to be average.
To a certain extent, for him, playoff series kind of get in the way of his jet-setting lifestyle.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'd rather not work.
Friday night, I was talking with a bunch of friends. Okay, I want them to win because I like some of these guys on the team, but also Jerry Reinsdorf wants nothing more than to have 2 more ticket gates for playoff games that he has no chance of winning that series. Mm-hmm. That's a dream for him. So, all right, that was my C-Red. Celtics, Heat. Sorry, Hank.
And you know what sucks, too, is the fact that they sometimes occasionally will win a play-in game.
Right.
Everybody gets a momentary, they get gassed up by that.
Right.
And they're that was a really fun night of basketball. I can't believe that Kobe White did that. That was so much fun. It's fun to be a Bulls fan, and you get this temporary fix. This little tiny hit, but then if you step back and you look at what that game was,
it was nothing.
It was the most inconsequential. The stats don't even count. That stat will never show up in NBA history.
It was nothing.
It was a fun night. You might have had fun watching the Bulls for that one night, but at the same time, it's like a Band-Aid that's on a grenade wound.
Yeah, it's nothing. And they're probably going to, here's what they're going to do. They're going to probably re-sign DeMar DeRozan, who I like DeMar DeRozan, great guy, great player. He's 34 years old, whose game doesn't fit in the modern NBA. They're going to re-sign DeMar DeRozan and then be like, Lonzo Ball will fix everything, even though he hasn't played basketball in 2.5 years.
He'll be okay.
That's what's going to happen.
Made out of glass.
Fix the shot.
And then guess what they're going to do? They're going to win 38 games and lose in the play-in game. And it's going to be and it's just, it is actually the worst place you can be as a franchise, what Jerry Reinsdorf has built, where it's you're never actually competing and you're also never tanking to the point where you can rebuild your roster.
Yeah, you want to have a plan, because his plan is he does have a plan.
He's working his plan perfectly,
but his plan doesn't make sense.
Right,
is the thing. If you have a crummy team, you want to be the worst. You want to be with the Wizards. For me, it's that's why I always call them the most inconsequential team in professional sports, because for the longest time, They were never relevant to really a playoff conversation at all, but they were also never really irrelevant enough to get that top pick like what you're describing. Now, all it takes is just sign Jordan Poole for a season.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're in the lottery.
And guess what? The Wizards, I'm going to try to find where I found all the stats. The Wizards have won more series.
Yeah, because we
They've
had
been to the playoffs more times.
John Wall, we had Paul Pierce. That was a fun team then.
That's the whole point of this rant is that I want people to stop thinking of the Bulls. And maybe people already do, but I think if you ask like 100 people, like the Bulls, they'd be like, oh, they're not a bad franchise.
Yeah.
No, they are.
Yeah.
They're a bad franchise. Celtics, sorry. They're so much better than the Heat.
Seeing green.
You don't have to worry about this series at all.
Yeah, unless they try and take out our best players.
What
Yeah.
happened? Oh, is that?
They call the hit in?
Got it.
That's why I was talking about the injury.
Got it. That's why you said you're rooting for 0 injuries. Got it.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Now it makes sense.
The Celtics were up 16 with like a minute and a half left. Heat called a timeout, kind of weird move.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a play or two later, Caleb Martin came in super low on Tatum getting a rebound.
Scared you?
Yeah.
It was a scary fall.
Yeah.
And then it was Jalen that got in his face, right?
But yeah, weird timing with the timeout. Kind of a weird looking play.
Appropriate response by the Celtics?
Yeah, I mean,
You need enough guys.
Missoula after they asked him about it, and he was like, I was loving it.
Yeah.
I would've
Oh,
been
he said
harder.
that. He's like, yeah. Fucking Missoula. If you didn't listen to our interview with Missoula on Friday, go back and listen to it because he is the man.
I was excited for him to choke me out.
Yeah. Please put that on a quote card.
Yeah.
But don't say who he's talking about.
Yeah.
That man to choke me up. But that was one of those interviews where there were so many crazy things that he said that I absolutely loved that people didn't know what crazy thing to write an entire article about.
Right. Yeah, we had a bunch of articles written where it's just and this, the revolving door.
Yeah. But to Hank's point on that play, Jake, is this Heat culture where you're sending in goons to try to tabletop somebody
Sounds
and,
like
and get a neck injury?
Sounds like it.
Well, if it was intentional, obviously I disavow. But if it wasn't intentional, then they're just pointing the finger for no reason, and there's no proof.
What'd you think when you saw the play?
Looked like a basketball play.
Oh.
He was looking at the hoop, looking for the rebound.
Under in Jason's like leg
Oh,
gooch,
Jason, I like
his
how you
leg
said
his
Jason.
leg armpit.
Jason's.
Drew Holiday may have pushed him into him.
That's
No
what
one's
other
talking
people were
about
saying
that.
too. Yeah,
Hank,
he
is
definitely. Yeah, he pushed him. Yeah.
it weird that you spent the whole season, like, or at least the last 2 months of the season, being like, get us to the playoffs because we already clinched the number 1 seed. We're the best team in the NBA. Like, this is all fodder, and now you're in the playoffs, and it feels like it's the same thing, where it's like get you to the conference finals because like the Heat are just not. I mean, I don't know if they would win this series with Jimmy Butler, but without Jimmy Butler, they just do not have the offense.
No. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm definitely thinking ahead. It does feel, brings me back to the old Patriots days. Not here anymore, but it is first series formality. If even if you lose in the conference finals, that's a failure of a season. Just get me to this. Get me to the
You
big
can't
one.
say Patriots when you haven't won yet.
No, I'm saying Max. It feels like how it
Max
felt
doesn't understand that.
as a Patriots fan when every year they're the best team in the regular season, and you're not thinking about the Super Bowl. You're looking at the other conference, thinking about Super Bowl matchups. You just bypass the Eastern Conference.
I mean, I think that's completely fair given the road that the Celtics will have to go through.
Yeah.
You should just want to get through this one. I would actually say, like, what do you think the over-under is for Celtics losses before the NBA Finals? 6.5? 7.5?
They'll have
No.
some wonky losses.
still
I would
lost.
hammer
Say
that
6.5?
under. I would
That's
hammer
so
that
lost.
under.
5.5?
No.
Bucks might
Before the finals?
Bucks might give them a couple games.
Yeah,
Before
through
the finals?
all the Eastern Conference.
I'd set it at 4.5
4.5.
because I don't think they're going to lose a game here. Maybe say 1.
I think
I don't think they would lose more than 1 to the Cavs or the Magic.
I think the number is 5.5.
But if they lose, I think they'll lose maybe 1 here, 1 in the second round, and then they would just have to win in 6 in the Eastern Conference Final. That'd be 4.
I think they're going to lose 1. They might lose 2 next round. I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's going to be easy for them. So
Should be.
My point is,
No injuries.
you're actually right to think this way.
I know.
But then all you have to worry about is certainly hope that no one else gets injured on the Western side.
Yeah.
No, we need fucking LeBron and AD, 2 top 5 players
He
in the
just
world.
wants them so
Greatest
bad.
player
God.
of all time.
I know it's not gonna happen. I would love to have the Lakers.
I will wear a
Celtics.
LeBron Lakers jersey on this show for a week.
If
Chet
It-
Holmgren with just an all-time block there in a big moment. We're watching the end of this game while it's going on. We'll talk about it in a second. Hank, so to go back to my question, you are like, this is kind of like, I know you're getting up for these games, but you're also just, it's just like get to the next round.
And don't get hurt. You're watching these games like, I was ready for them to pull them when they got up 30. The Heat came back a little bit, but seeing a fall like that with a minute left, in a meaningless game is terrifying.
SGA just hit an incredible shot there.
Yeah, that was actually like a 30 seconds of like the Thunder's future flashing before our eyes, and it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren with an enormous block, and then SGA with an awesome and one.
This team could beat the Nuggets.
Yeah, he's already doing the. He was Hank was like, Chet Holmgren can lock down Jokic.
He needs to gain probably 60 pounds.
No one can lock down Jokic. That's the
but they
thing about Jokic.
Stretch him out.
But if you say Jokic, you can't score, he's just gonna be like, okay, I'll have 25 assists, and then you're like, Jokic, you can score. It's like, okay, then I'll score 30 points.
Yeah, he's a problem.
Okay, so good job, good win.
Thanks.
Yeah, not worried about this series.
No.
Next game Wednesday, that's the worst.
And then they have 3 games in 4 days. I've
Good.
never
Oh.
seen
Get
a
it.
back-to-back in the NBA playoffs. Have you? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think they've been
Yeah,
doing it
like
recently.
there's like arena shit.
Yeah. Sorry that the Bulls suck because I know you wanted to go to. I would have gone to that game with you on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you
We
would
got-
have spanked me.
Choked out.
We would have gotten choked out by Joe Mazzulla. Okay. Mavs Clippers. I got bamboozled.
By the Mavs?
Yeah, I mean Kawhi out.
Yeah. The
You know what I
Clippers better
forgot?
without Kawhi?
Well, you know what I forgot, and we need to just remind ourselves this. James Harden, I went through it. I didn't add up all the stats, but if you look at it, just perusing it, James Harden, when he has rest, basically every game one, he's awesome. And he was awesome. He just has a lot of rest. He feels awesome. He scores a lot of points. He's awesome. And then game 2 happens, 2 days later, and he's tired.
And Paul George back on his bully shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Clippers look good. Steve Ballmer was having a great time.
Yeah.
Courtside, too. Just fucking pumped for everything.
He was. And we even had like the fake Dallas comeback that made it look a little bit close for a minute there. Luka got his points. He got everything. But yeah, the Mavs-
Luka did get his points.
Well, that's the thing.
true.
The fake
Yes.
comeback, yeah, where it was, they scored like, what did they score? 40 points in the first half. They were so bad, and
8 in the second quarter.
8 in the second quarter. Yeah. Oh yeah, 30 points. Sorry, 30 points in the first half. That's almost impossible to do if you're not the Cavs or the Magic.
So I don't grind the film like you guys do, but it occurs to me when I'm watching Luka when he's playing from a deficit, when his team's not leading, he seems to take a hell of a lot of time off the shot clock.
Yeah. Well, he's got to dribble.
He has to dribble, yeah.
He's got to dribble. And they were kind of screwed too when Daniel Gafford got it, even though he's not. Daniel Gafford's one of those guys he's good, but when you're like, we need Daniel Gafford to be awesome all the time, there might be a flaw.
Mm-hmm.
He is good, but it might be a flaw.
Yeah.
I got hoodwinked by the Mavs. I did. I bought it. I'm an idiot. I feel stupid. I think the Clippers are underdogs again in game 2.
And I like the Clippers again. I like the Clippers in the series. I don't know. I'm dumb for thinking that a team that's led by James Harden can do some damage in the playoffs, but I
Game
kinda,
1s.
But I kind of do.
Game 1s, he can do it.
But even if it's later
Tough
on in the
defensive
series,
matchup.
if Kawhi's back,
Okay,
you get
I'm gonna look
Paul George cooking. I don't know. I feel like this Clippers team could do something.
Me too.
Game 1s. From Houston, James Harden on 20, 27, 24. This is a Mike Francesa bit. 20, 28, 17. So nothing great. Oh, here we go. 37, 20, 44, 41, 41. Guy likes rest. 29, 35, 37, 36. Did he do it last year too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Guy likes rest. When he gets his rest, yeah, he scored 45 in game 1 against the Celtics. And then he did have one other big game, but all the other games he was under 20 points.
Didn't he have like single digits for one game?
Yeah, he had 9 in game 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy likes rest. So just remember, James Harden, when he has rest, bet him.
If they take care of business, get the Mavericks, he'll have a bunch of time to rest before the next round.
Yeah. All right. Dame time. Dame time in Milwaukee. That was awesome. He was on
He
fire.
went off in the first half.
He had 19 points in the first quarter. He was incredible, and then it just felt like he finished with only 35. Well, I say only 35, but he scored 19 in the first quarter, 19 of their 30. It was just too late for the Pacers. They made like a little run, and it was just not enough.
They got to like within 10 or something.
Yeah.
Down the stretch, but the game never really felt close. And if Giannis back, that would concern. That's the only way that I could see the Celtics losing 7 games.
Giannis would be, yeah. If he's fully healthy, he still would be the best player in a series against the Celtics. The Celtics would have the next like 4 best players, but Giannis would be the best player.
Yeah, that's the only issue for the C's, Hank. But yeah, the Bucks. This feels like it's going to be an easy series for them.
Yeah.
Again, overreaction, sweep
By the Bucks?
belt to ass. Yeah.
When is Giannis coming back? Who comes back first, Giannis or Kawhi?
I feel like Kawhi plays like every other day.
They said
it depends on how he feels like getting out of bed that
the
morning.
Clippers said they're like, yeah, we knew he was out for like the last week,
Yeah.
so they were prepared for it. But yeah,
If there's like bad weather, his knee swells up. He's like, can't go.
I'm gonna say Giannis. I'm gonna say
Swell.
Giannis comes back before Kawhi.
No, I don't know. I feel
Always mysterious what happens to Kawhi, but he's just always out. They're like, all right, he's out.
it would be very, very frustrating if that was your favorite team. If you're a diehard Clippers fan and having
Jimmy
a guy
Tatro.
that's so good
Yeah.
like Kawhi that just sometimes decides like, no, I'm not going to do it today.
CJ,
They're calling for the win.
no. Thunder take game 1. That was so we can talk about that game. That was it was a rock fight to start the game, but the fact that we got to see that Chet Holmgren SGA at the end, these young Thunder, watch out.
Yeah. They might just be too young to know they're not supposed to be this good.
It does suck so bad that Zion's out because the Pelicans are like a weird matchup for a lot of teams with their size, and it's just so frustrating to have him out of this series. I want to see him play in the playoffs.
Do people like watching CJ McCollum play? Because I do.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Hezzy Hayes?
I feel like I see a lot of discourse about him being a super boring superstar.
I don't know if he's a
Or super boring star.
Yeah.
Giannis will definitely be back first.
Yeah? What are you reading?
Giannis is supposed to be back later in the series. Kawhi hasn't participated in contact practice or played since March 31st.
Okay. So, yeah, that's going to be Giannis for sure. That's 100% Giannis. I like the Thunder. They're fun. And that stadium actually is pretty awesome when it gets bumping.
Yeah, they care.
Yeah. They do. I do think they lead the league in amount of fans that wear the T-shirt giveaways.
Yeah.
They are number 1 in the NBA.
You see a lot of guys in the crowd wearing a dress shirt, like collared dress shirt with the T-shirt that they just got over top of that dress shirt.
Yeah, it's not even a question. When they get that free T-shirt, it's on.
Yeah, you don't have to get dressed up to go. Look, there's like 7 of them.
Yeah,
there right
it's
now.
crazy. They're just they all just fall in line, and they're like, free T-shirt, we got to wear it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I respect that.
I respect it too. It's a good basketball town.
Yeah. Seattle people are going to be mad.
Well, the reason why they got the team was because during Katrina, the Hornets at the time played there, and David Stern was like, "Holy shit, this city actually cares about basketball."
Yeah.
They're first on my list. And then,
And also because
and then Seattle.
they bought, Howard Schultz fucked that up so bad.
Yep.
And sold the team to guys that were all from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we do want to move. Weird.
Seattle should have a team.
Yeah, Seattle should have a team. Okay, you want to talk some hockey? Hank punished the Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Punished them.
Looking to take the all-time lead in that series.
Love the jerseys. Feel like I haven't seen those in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Good hockey analysis. I like this.
Well, yeah, you turn the game on. You're like, all right, let's,
Talking puck.
Bees
Yeah.
time. And I was like, ooh, these are new. They probably worn them all year, but for me, they were new.
Yeah,
and
they're
they were
new.
Sick.
Yeah.
Who's the key to the series, Hank?
Swayman.
Swayman.
Okay.
Got to be a hot goalie if you're
Would
gonna
you
win a
say
cup.
Bergeron was kind of a no-show?
He wasn't no show.
Yeah, you're not.
It's Marshy's team. Yeah, he's handing out pucks after the game.
How are you guys going to stop Austin Matthews?
They got a lot of chances.
Put on
Swayman.
the
Swayman.
Bruins jersey and watch them put on the Maple Leafs jersey.
Swayman.
Game
I
over.
already answered that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Memes. Can we talk about your game real quick because you lost the Hurricanes? But I thought like the Islanders were. It wasn't a game where I was like, oh, the Islanders have no chance in this series.
Yeah, no, they. This was definitely the game they should have stole. Did you watch a game?
I watched the second and third period, so I guess I missed the time when they were tied.
Yeah, it was 1-1 pretty much the entire game. During the
when the Islanders scored, because the Islanders scored in the first.
Islanders scored in the first.
Yeah, I
and
didn't see an Islanders
It was
goal.
like that the entire time, and then probably during the second period when nobody was scoring, I was like, "Oh fuck, we're in for a battle just like last year." It's going to be the exact same series.
I'm sorry.
So you're gonna lose.
I don't want to say it.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not optimistic about the
Sounds good.
Well, it's going to be a battle. We got to bounce back game 2.
Anything can happen. It's hockey.
Anything could happen, but I think game 1 was the game we could have stole. We had a lot more opportunities. Refs kind of fucked us right off the bat.
Yeah, I like that.
Game 1.
no.
Diving into it. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. They did.
Rest fucked you that.
They hate
quick?
the Islanders.
that quick.
Well, it was a flop, instant flop. They go right to the power play, score in 14 seconds.
Man, that's tough. PFT your Caps.
Yeah, I've got a couple keys to turning this around for the Caps.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so the Caps lose 4-1. That's what the official stats say. But if you take out like 3 minutes in the second period, we actually tied this game 1-1.
Okay.
If you don't count those, and also we were pressing at the end to try to score. They probably wouldn't have scored that one either. If you take out that 10 seconds and the 2.5 minutes in the second period, the Caps actually won this game 1-0 in a series where nobody thought that we could come within 3 goals of beating the Rangers, and it turns out that we technically kind of actually won that game.
So would the key to the game be allow the Capitals to eliminate any 3 minutes of their choosing?
Yeah, retroactively. Don't
like
say it ahead
that.
of time, but after the game, I predict that if you give me those parameters, the Capitals might even sweep the Rangers.
Okay,
this
so
postseason.
we'll track that going forward. That if as long as PFT can
Yeah.
eliminate 3 minutes of every game, you're gonna win.
I'm going to win. And maybe not a sweep, but I think we'll get it done in 5.
Okay.
And my 2 keys to turning this around, actually I have 3. 1, start a fight.
Yep.
Whenever you're
Always.
whenever you're very clearly the less talented team, just try to get under their skin. Send Tom Wilson out there to try to wreck the franchise for the second time in 4 years.
Yep.
Although they do have Rimpey scares me. I don't think that Tom could take him, but it would be a good fight. I'd like to see it. Either get into a fight. That's key number 1. Key number 2 is try not at any point in the game to allow your team to get outshot with 20 straight shots.
Yes.
So try to limit the New York Rangers from, I'd put it out like 18 or fewer shots in a row for them before we get one shot
I like
on
that.
that. That would
I
be a
like
good
that.
one. And then my other key is
We should make that a rule too.
yeah, if that-
Anytime the Rangers have more than 10 consecutive shots, anything after that doesn't count.
correct. Yeah. Although I mean I don't want to say it won't happen, but I don't think that they'll ever have a time in this series where they get 20 consecutive shots on that, because that's crazy.
Well, not under our new
Not
rules.
under our new rules.
Yeah,
They
right.
certainly
10
won't.
is the max.
We're fixing the game of hockey. And then my third key to turning this series around is that Ovechkin should have at least one shot on goal.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And then
That's
if-
that's
that's
Buddy
the third
Hield.
one. Yeah,
Buddy
yeah.
Hield and
So
Ovechkin.
if Ovi can get one shot at least on goal, I think that's going to go a long way to turning this around. But yeah, that was after the first like 10 minutes. I knew that we're not as good as the Rangers, but again, it's hockey. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
I was already telling myself like, well, they're not used to seeing a left-handed goalie.
Yep. You actually texted us that. 'Cause we
Yeah.
all bet on the Capitals to have your back.
Chucky was catching a lot of pucks out there with his right hand. They're not used. They're trying to go glove side, or they're trying to go stick side. There's a big fat glove there. They're not used to that. They figured that out. They figured that out after the first period. But
I should have known we were in trouble because
Yeah.
I took my son to the Cubs game when you sent that text being like, never seen a left-handed goalie. I should have
haven't.
known that was a problem.
they haven't seen it too much this year, and it takes some adjusting. They were firing a lot of pucks right into that big fat glove. But yeah, listen, I'm happy to be in the playoffs. I'm happy to have some meaningful games to root for, and anything could happen. Hockey's a weird sport. But if it goes any way at all similarly to how it went tonight, it's going to be a very short series.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm
But with the new rules, we'll monitor them.
yeah.
So that's
I like the new
Caps are
rules.
up 1-0.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And then the Avs Jets win my game of the first round, first games.
I'm going to give
Game
that
of the first games.
I'm going to give that my period of the week.
Yeah. Period of the week.
The first period goes to the first period in this game.
Yeah, and no, the third period too.
The third period, yeah, the third period was good.
The third period might have. You sure you want to give it to the first period? It's tough.
Yeah, I do. I want to give.
Also,
first
remember
period,
we have in the running when the Islanders got screwed.
yeah, as the nominee for period of the week. So I like the first period in this game better than the third because the third didn't really get cooking until the last 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do period of the week for the rest of the playoffs. So that was our official memes. Can you make this graphic? Official period of the week to close this week was the first period of the Avs Jets game.
Yep.
I like that. I feel good about that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So we'll be monitoring period of the week starting Monday.
And you know what? If you don't like our period of the week, make your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have my own entry.
Oh.
The second period of the NYPDF, the NY Heroes hockey game. There was
Yeah.
a brawl.
Okay.
Okay, that's
So I think,
now you're making me feel like I'm not supporting heroes.
just saying.
Yeah, but that Avs Jets first period was awesome.
I'm gonna give the heroes period of the week
Yep.
goes to the second period in the heroes game.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. We will have Biz and Wit on probably next week after draft.
Yeah,
We'll have them on to talk some hockey in depth. We don't know what we're talking about, but that's fine.
I think we covered it.
We don't
pretty
know what we're
good.
talking about with anything.
We covered it pretty good.
These are my favorite when we get
Also,
to
the
this.
Panthers won.
Yeah, the Panthers did win.
Yeah.
The thing about hockey fans, though, if you're a diehard puck boy, you're probably also listening to Spittin' Chicklets or
Yes.
a podcast that will make you smarter and know what they're talking about when it comes to hockey.
Listen,
They know they're not going to get that from us.
people know we're more football guys than anything else. We do love all the sports. We'll talk about all the sports. This is the time of year where people will just we probably have said, I don't know, 10 things that have been wrong.
Mhm.
Some Magic fan will hit me up and be like, dude, you're so off. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah,
I am.
hand up. I'm definitely a hockey casual. I'm coming out as
You
a
are-
hockey casual.
You are right. You are right. I am wrong. But yeah, I thought that was a good recap of the weekend. All right, should we do Who's Back of the Week? We got more to talk about from the weekend. Some good stories, some good Who's Backs of the Week. Who's Back of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. There are plenty of chances in life to make things better by choosing chill. Grab every opportunity to choose chill, then reach for a refreshing Coors Light. When you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Coors Light is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. We love Coors Light. Hank was talking about how this is the best 2 weeks of the year. It's the best 2 weeks to go to a bar, watch all the games, crack open a Coors Light, enjoy some playoffs, NBA and NHL. So make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. CoorsLight.com/take. Hank, your Who's Back of the Week?
My Who's Back of the Week is Tupac.
Oh.
Yeah, he is.
So in the update of the Drake, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole rap beef, which I'm sure you guys have been very locked in on.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I have.
I have not.
I don't like how you said that.
I think it was directed more to me.
No, I don't think so. He said you guys.
Well, I forgot you do the podcast with Arian, so he tells
What does
you-
that mean?
Well, the King Von thing last week.
Why? What? Huh?
I'm talking about King Von.
Why would you say that Arian would be able to teach me about rap?
Because when you brought up King Von and I
That's
was
interesting.
shocked about that, it turned out that was because Arian was talking about King Von.
No, he
and
wasn't.
That's what people were telling me.
No, that's not true.
Who? You guys didn't talk about King Von and Macrodose.
Like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Who brought him up?
I don't know. I don't recall. But no, that's just
That's what I was
What
told.
is it
like,
specifically about Arian that
so did
would make you think? That
have you guys talked about this rap beef on Macrodosing?
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. So,
Yeah.
but I understand.
Just look at me when you say that we don't know, because I don't know.
Big Cat doesn't even know a black guy.
Nope.
You can just accuse
Arian.
him. Yeah.
Arian.
Uh-oh. Big Cat knows too now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Where were we?
Kendrick Lamar, allegedly, there was a leaked song that was Kendrick Lamar, a diss track of Drake, wasn't great. People kind of shat on it, and then they went like quiet, and the rumor was that people were saying, oh, it was AI, it wasn't really a diss track. Drake basically seems to think that it was actually Kendrick Lamar, so in retaliation, he wrote a diss track and then got AI Tupac and Snoop Dogg to sing it. So it's a Drake diss track, but it's like Tupac's voice dissing Kendrick Lamar, and then Snoop Dogg's voice dissing Kendrick Lamar.
That's kind of cool.
I don't think it was that cool because
It was cool, and it was
Snoop Dogg's still alive.
Wait,
though.
hold on. You say it was cool. You say it wasn't that cool. Which one is it? Because I'm the only one who doesn't know what's going on.
I don't think it was cool. I think you know what it is.
And counterpoint.
It was basically like calling Kendrick Lamar out for trying to use AI as an excuse when it wasn't. So he used AI. He basically just like used AI to his advantage, and he kind of did the Eminem like
cool.
With the
Marshall
no,
Mathers, like
cool.
he dissed himself
What the streets are saying.
via Tupac.
The streets
Kinda
are
cool.
saying that
We
it's
have to-
corny. The streets are saying that Drake is corny for this,
That's kind of cool what he said though.
and that all the Drake meat riders out there are just sucking it down, and they're corny too.
Max deciding vote.
Cool.
Oh,
You thought it was
shit.
cool?
Yeah,
It was very.
I don't
cool.
know anything about
It
that.
was funny.
but it
Very
sounds
cool. Now very cool. Okay.
No, you can't take Tupac's voice.
Okay.
Or now it would be cool if Tupac was still actually alive, and Drake's the only guy that knows.
That would be.
And then he's like, "This is AI Tupac," and then everybody out there was like, "Yo, Drake, you're corny." But then in the back of his head, he's like, "Yeah, but I know. I'm the only one that knows that was real." I'd respect that.
I thought it was cool, but Tupac's back.
Okay.
Put up a
Nice.
poll. Cool or not cool?
We'll just tune into MacDosing. I'm sure you guys will talk about it, and we'll find out once and for all.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with cool.
My who's back of the week being fat and
Oh.
winning.
Oh.
Fat winners. Because we're going to talk about the boxing a little bit.
Oh. Awesome.
And it was incredible because before the fight, they had to weigh in at 140 pounds or less.
140 pounds.
Right? And then Ryan Garcia said that he would pay he weighed in at 143 pounds.
Correct.
Which is really overweight for boxing.
Very much.
That's incredibly overweight. Like, he did not give a fuck. And then he told Haney that he would pay him $500,000 a pound
Yes.
over what he weighed in at. So he ended
While
up,
his dad was like, "Don't do this."
yeah, and so he ended up paying him $1.5 million to get into the ring. It couldn't be for a title belt, right? Because he was overweight.
Correct.
He was so fat.
Evan Haney still has the title.
And so then he just proceeded to beat the shit out of him for, was it 12 rounds? 10
Yep,
rounds?
12 rounds.
12 rounds. And it was not particularly close. And no one thought that Garcia had a chance. I would count myself in with that group of people that thought he actually was insane.
Yeah, he was like plus 600. He was acting very crazy. Turns out he just sold an awesome fight because I watched every second of it, and it was a lot of clinching. Also, the ref essentially saved Devin Haney because I think the ref was worried that Ryan Garcia was going to do something crazy. I think it was round 7 where he knocked him down, and the ref basically was just like almost picking up Devin Haney, being like, "You're good." But Garcia was awesome, and he might be the new face of boxing because he's crazy. He's like the perfect amount of crazy, fun to watch. Was throwing bombs, and yeah, he's something else.
He is something else. I actually go back and I look at all the weird stuff he's done the last couple months, and now I don't know how much of it was an act and how much was like
Right,
he really being
that's why
crazy.
he's the perfect boxer.
And he won on 420, which is great for him because
Yeah.
he was smoking the biggest blunt that I've ever seen afterwards.
Yeah.
He might have just been like the most high individual for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And just allowed himself to have like a schizophrenic break just from smoking too much pot.
We also had after the fight one of my favorite like encounters I've seen in a long time. Eddie Hearns, our friend who's been on this show, and Ryan Garcia's dad, Hearns. Thanks, Hank.
Good friend.
Good friend, Eddie Hearns. And Ryan Garcia's dad. I think I had memes pull up the video. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
It was so good. For people who don't see it, we can put this in. It is in the tunnel after the fight. That was so good because it was like the perfect male exchange where we went from "fuck you, you're a piece of shit," grabbing the balls to "I'm sorry" in 20 seconds.
And respect to Garcia's dad for just being a good dad.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, you don't like my son, well, you're an enemy for life. Actually, you seem like a cool guy. Okay, now you like my son. Now we're boys.
And respect to Eddie Hearn for not backing down.
Yeah.
He's like, no, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. But yeah, it was an awesome fight. Like it was a very, very fun. And Ryan Garcia is like that perfect amount of crazy that makes boxing fun.
Yeah,
and thank God he won because there was because Devin Haney in the first like 6 Ryan Garcia came out and was like going crazy in the first round. Then for the next 5 rounds, Devin Haney did win those rounds, but then Garcia knocked him down 3 times.
Yeah, and one of them he got points taken away too.
He got points taken away because he did punch him after they were broken up.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, he did punch him. He didn't get warned. You could say he didn't get warned,
Yeah,
which
Haney-
is fair, but he did punch him.
Haney was doing a lot of holding too, holding on for dear life. He did not get penalized for anything, but it was. What concerns me is that like Garcia was so fucking crazy going up to this fight, and it worked. It worked out perfectly for him. What's he going to do in the next fight?
I'm in.
How's he going to get crazier?
I mean, he had that press conference on Thursday where he started it with saying like, "All love to Jesus, I love Jesus," and then ended it with "Suck my dick, Devin Haney."
Yeah, he said. Didn't he say he like broke into Bohemian Grove?
Yeah,
He had like, I forget all the stuff he was saying going.
He
He also said after the fight, like, yeah, my prep for this fight was just drinking every day.
yeah. No, he posted a meme that says it's Devin Haney wakes up at 4:30 a.m. every morning to train, no drugs or alcohol, listens to his trainer, diets, sparring, trains 5 times a day, runs 8 miles every day. Ryan Garcia, alcohol, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's a lot better than that. He's a really good boxer, but
No, he
rules.
said in the press conference, yeah, I drink every day. I know it's probably nothing to brag about, but I like to drink, and so that's what I did to train for this fight.
Yeah, although then after he drank a beer during the weigh-in, which people were like, oh, of course they do the weigh-in before they do like the press conference weigh-in, but he was saying afterwards that it was just apple juice.
I like that.
Who knows what's real?
No one knows.
No one knows. what's real.
I don't know what's a mark. Like, am I a mark?
Yeah.
I think I'm a mark.
It was a fun weekend though. It was a fun Ryan Garcia, very fun fight. Okay, I have 2 who's backs of the week, both baseball related. First one is terrible gifts because John Sterling retired from the Yankees, done what was like 45 years or something as the voice of the Yankees. The Yankees got him an 83-inch TV from Best Buy.
Mm-hmm. And then the ceremony.
The picture was so funny.
The ceremony of gifting him this big
Yes.
TV was hilarious too because they took it so serious.
So seriously. Did
Which-
they think he didn't have a TV?
He might not,
No, I think actually I read an article he has 5 TVs.
and they're all small.
No, I don't know if they're all small.
Yeah, listen, I would not turn away a TV if somebody wanted to give me an 83-inch TV. I'd be okay with it. But
They cost
for-
like nothing now though. They're
for-
like $400.
a
Those ones
retirement
are tough
present.
to move too.
Yeah. Do you think they got the warranty? They better have gotten the warranty.
Oh, he's not going to be able to set that thing up.
No one ever gets the warranty. I hope the Yankees at least sprung for the warranty.
It's going to have motion smoothing on it. He's going to not be able to watch it. He's going to have like 4 different remotes, and he's not going to remember which one goes to which TV. Oh, this is the new TV with the new remote that's not programmed correctly yet. That's going to be a nightmare for an old guy.
His
Yeah.
sons are going to help him out. They're AWLs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So they're get him.
So if they're listening
Might have
right
to get
now,
John Sterling on.
Geek
Yeah.
Squad, yeah.
I'd like to have John Sterling on the show. Yeah. The 83-inch TV though, the picture of that, 45 years. Here's a TV.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your service.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. People were like, well, the Yankees only had a few days to figure out a gift. You couldn't think of anything other than a TV?
also his schedule dwindled down this year.
Yeah.
So
do,
like,
do you think like somebody in the Yankees front office had just purchased that TV?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we have a ceremony. Fuck, what are we going to get him?
Oh, that was
Oh,
definitely.
I've got a TV in my car.
Yeah, that was definitely sitting in like the AV room in the locker room where they're like, well, we have an extra just in case one of these, someone takes a bat to a TV. Let's
Yeah.
give them this.
And no one can fit it in their
yeah,
car.
yeah, right. It's the worst gift you could give someone.
spin zone. They're saving the money for Juan Soto's next contract.
Mm. Yeah.
83-inch TV. Yeah, they
Yeah.
are like nothing now.
Yeah, I'm just
Like this
saying.
was a great gift 20 years ago.
It's
You'd be
crazy.
like, holy shit, he got an 83-inch TV.
Like inflation sucks. Everything is getting way more expensive except TVs.
TVs.
are like half as expensive as they used to be 10 years ago.
Do you remember like the first like nice TV that you got? It was like, we have to be so careful. This is so. Now it's like TVs are nothing.
They're giving them away.
They are.
All you have to do is quit your job and you get a TV.
Let's see, 83-inch TV, Best Buy.
Remember when there wasn't HD? Like
Yeah.
HD was a big deal.
I
I
remember
did
the
this
first
last year. I went to Best Buy and I was getting a TV and I had a massive wall that I wasn't trying to put anything else on. So I was like, I'm going to get a big TV. Was thinking 70-inch and it was maybe like $80 more for 83-inch. And I was like, oh, sure, let me get the 83-inch. Like, fuck it.
I hope they got them the top
And then I
of the
couldn't
line.
put it in my car.
They did.
I hope it was top of
They
the line
did.
because when
They
you
did.
get an 83-inch TV, if it's not super high quality, at that level, it starts to look like shit.
They did, because I'm seeing right now you can get an 85-inch TV for $900, but they did get him the OLED LG, which was $4,500.
Curved screen?
So pretty nice. I don't know if it's curved. Yeah, I
don't
remember
fuck with
the first game I ever watched in HDTV was with my dad, the Midge game.
Oh, yeah?
Unbelievable game to watch in HDTV.
Java?
That is
Yeah.
a good one,
Java
yeah.
Chamberlain,
Yeah. Okay, my other Who's Back, I have another Who's Back baseball related. Who's Back of the week is the Philly Fanatic, because he held his birthday bash today and he invited every mascot except Bloopy.
Oh, no.
Yes, love it. That
Oh,
fat
no.
fuck would have. I mean, think about the budget for food if you invite Bloopy.
Or you have to buy 3 plane tickets for
Yeah,
him.
and you can't have kids around.
He could have
that's what I
denied
heard.
an invitation because he's scared of Philadelphia.
That's true.
I mean,
Now, if you invite every other it's kind of a cuck move for every other mascot to just. You've got games that day too.
Yeah, but
You just
Philly's
pack up and
kinda
go.
like-
You go across the country to celebrate another mascot's birthday.
The Fanatic is mascots. I think will do anything to get together. They
They-
do like getting together.
I know, but I like it so much better when it's rare.
Yeah, but
It's like at the All-Star game.
But if there was one mascot that everyone would go to their birthday party, I think the Philly Fanatic, like, not trying to glaze Max here, he is kind of the OG.
He is one of the OGs, but still, I think you have to have a little bit more pride in yourself than these guys are having, and just being like, oh yeah, I'm going to go tip my cap to another team's mascot.
Well, they probably
Shouldn't do
did.
that.
They probably didn't just do a birthday party. They probably played like a scrimmage against like a Pee Wee football team and kicked their ass.
Just ran all over him.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper
Mascots.
got him a gift. It was a cool glove.
What do you get him? You
It
got
was
a
like
cool
It
glove?
was like a massive glove.
Probably better than John Sterling's gift.
Oh, was it a mascot glove that he could put on over
Yes,
his?
He put it on over. I'll pull it up.
That is pretty cool.
But no, I think Blooper got invited, but that bitch was too scared.
Oh,
I mean,
like
he's
that.
terrified of Philly.
Oh, that is a great gift.
Wait.
Oh no, he
Said-
hasn't
yeah,
opened it yet.
Here it is.
A huge glove.
Oh wait, what?
Oh no, it was a shoe.
Oh wait, this was 2019. Fuck me.
Oh,
Bryce Harper
Max.
gets some gifts every year for his birthday.
Wow. Bryce Harper loves the Fanatic.
He's kind
I
of
mean, no,
impressed.
Bryce Harper. That's like a thing. Here it is. He has like an obsession with the Fanatic.
Yeah, because he has the cleats, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Here it is. Here it is.
The Fanatic is hilarious, dude. Like, he is what Bloopy wants to be. Bloopy's an imitation. That's a nice glove.
It's a good glove. Yeah, it's big.
Ass glove.
You remember when Tommy Lasorda got into a fight with him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he is the standard. All right, Jake.
My Who's Back of the Week is the future of golf being in good hands. We had some crazy stories in the golf world this week. We can start off with the LPGA Tour. Nelly Korda, tailor-made athlete. She won her 5th start in a row.
Whoa.
And this was a major.
Whoa.
So that's sick.
What major?
The Chevy, I think.
That's a major?
Yeah, because it's Chevy.
That's true.
What a great brand that
It
is.
is true.
Checking.
Yeah, you know what? Let's start with the LPGA.
If you if you win 5 weeks in a row,
Yeah,
or
the
anything,
Chevron
pretty good.
Championship.
Okay.
Also,
Wait, no, that's
Chevy. It's a Chevy championship.
Chevron is not Chevy.
I know, but we're just
Oh,
going to call
Chevrolet.
we're just
Yeah.
going to call it.
Yeah.
I got my brands mixed up.
Okay.
Also, you guys want to call dibs on Miles Russell.
Okay.
15 years
Dibs.
old, youngest ever player to make the cut at the Corn Ferry Tour.
Okay, dibs.
So you guys-
I'm sick with Charlie.
Oh, I got 2 dibs.
No, you
Well,
can't
we have
double
Brooks
dibs.
and Max.
Yeah.
No, but for future,
Yeah, you can do 2.
for who's got next.
Yeah, we need 2.
Yeah. And finally, it was rain delay right now, but Scotty is up by 5 with 3 holes left.
Yeah, Scott.
Yeah, he's just
Which is
punishing
insane.
everyone. You know what? We can't have we can have 2 next guys up because I think it'll be good for Charlie to have this type of competition where it'll be like Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, true. You need
Winning all
someone
those
to push
majors
you.
between them. Yeah, it'll be good for the growth of the game.
Yeah.
So the future's in good hands.
Okay. I like it. All right, let's do Todd McShay. And then after Todd McShay, we have Mr. Pear's picks, which we won't do Mr. Pear on every episode, but we have to get him a win on an episode. He'll be more of a football turtle. We'll do some Instagram lives with him for other big NBA, NHL games. But we have to get this fucking stupid-ass turtle a win.
I think we should fade the turtle. I'm going to fade the turtle.
If I fade the turtle, he's going to win.
I'm going to fade him. I'm going to fade whatever this pick is. That's a promise.
Okay.
Or I tossed this out here earlier, but if he continues to lose, we should punish him in some way.
Okay. I like
Or we can just blame memes.
Yeah. Meme's already trying to give this turtle to my kids.
No punishing. No punishing.
Okay, no punishing of the turtle, but
Yep.
we can blame memes.
No, we can verbally punish him.
No, PETA. No punishing. Of
You can't
You can
insult an
verbally
animal?
berate an animal. I will get eye to eye with Mr. Pear and tell him he's a fucking loser.
You know what, Mr. Pear? I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I got a problem in my house because my kids love Mr. Pear. They met him today. They were so pumped.
Memes just keep saying it's your turtle.
Yeah, he's trying to pawn off Mr. Pear. That was the fastest thing. But this
Well, he's 0-2. He's got to win some games.
This turtle's gonna live
Or
for
lose
50
every game.
years, and Memes already is trying to get rid of him 4 days in.
He's got to win or lose them all.
Yeah, it's true.
I hope he keeps losing.
Okay. Let's get to Todd McShay. PFT, you got a quick ad.
Before we get to Todd McShay, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. This interview is brought to you by BetterHelp as well. It can be easy to ignore our social battery and spread ourselves thin, especially with social gatherings picking up after the winter. What's the right amount of socializing for you, and how do you recharge? Maybe you thrive around people. Maybe you need some more alone time. Therapy can give you the self-awareness to build a social life that doesn't drain your battery. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/PMT today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PMT. And now here's Todd McShay.
Okay, it is draft week. It is time. We welcome on our good friend, recurring guest, Todd McShay. Todd, first of all, how you doing? Ready for
I'm
draft?
doing great, man.
Yeah.
Ready for the draft. Yeah, I'm going to be sitting alone at home this year. A little bit different than normal.
But
I'm fired up.
All right.
Fired up.
So, I mean, there's nothing better than draft time. I know you've still been doing all the work, all the calls. Let's start at the top. Caleb
Yep.
Williams is a Bear, so we can just say that, right? Like, it's 100% slam dunk. Don't tell me that when I paint my fingernails on Thursday night, I'm going to look like a fool.
And I know you will.
Yeah.
Now that's a lock. I just find it interesting, right? Like we get to the end of the season and you get all these anonymous scouts who are like, I wouldn't take him there. If I was making the decision for Chicago, I would be worried. I would be concerned about all these things. Crying in the stands with his mom and painting his fingernails and do his teammates love him and all of that. And then you get to the combine and it's like all the media has time now to go out and have dinners and drinks and interact with all the people in the league. And then immediately it's like 2 days into the combine, everyone's, oh yeah, Caleb's going to Chicago. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah, because
It's like
he's been the first pick for 2 years now. So it's like
yes,
it's
and would have been the first pick last year.
Right. So it's
Right.
the fatigue is there where people are picking apart, and he's going to be a Bear. So with knowing that he's going to be a Bear, let me ask you this: where does the draft start?
Well, let me just before we pass on Caleb, because I know you care about this. Like, you go back and look at some of the situations that the number one overall pick has been drafted into, and it's been ugly. Like Bryce Young last year, I would argue is the ugliest situation that any of these number one overall picks at quarterback have been, drafted into. 2 and 15 last year, traded Christian McCaffrey, staff fired, owner, all the issues with David Tepper that we know, no weapons, no protection. So, like everyone's like Stroud, you should have taken Stroud, and maybe they should have, okay? But maybe they should have had a better organization around him. Go back to Trevor Lawrence in 2021. And Trevor hasn't become the guy that we thought he was going to be to this point. We're still waiting for him to make that third step, if you will. But as a rookie with Urban Meyer, that situation, disasters in terms of the organizational leadership, no protection, no weapons. He had, 3 and 14 as a rookie. Doug Peterson comes in. They add a couple weapons. They protect him a little better, and they make that huge jump that they made in his second year. So, like, these number one overall picks are typically drafted into really bad situations. I don't think it's the case in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a big jump. Like what Ryan Poles has done from last year to this year, also having the number 9 overall pick, the general manager has kind of seen the vision. Let's put things around the quarterback position so that when we do draft Caleb next year, we're going to put him in a better situation. Now, all of a sudden, Caleb comes in, and you've got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift and depth behind him at running back, Cole Kmet at tight end. Like this is as good a situation as we've seen in a long time. Like going back to beyond like Kyler Murray in 2019, beyond Baker Mayfield in 2018 with Cleveland. You have to go back a while to say which quarterback was in this good of a situation that Caleb Williams is entering into as the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's why all the talk about him, like, oh, he's going to say he doesn't want to go to Chicago. It's like, when is a 7-10 team ever going to draft number 1 overall again? Like, that's the other part is the team, they weren't great, but they were not the worst. They weren't a 2-win team, and their defense is good. I couldn't be more excited. I agree, obviously, that this is a perfect situation for him. And I'm just going. I'm all in. I'm going all in.
Yeah.
I don't care like what people are going to say. All this stuff. I think he's the first Gen Z quarterback that will piss people off. But everything else, he's going to be awesome, and I'm pumped for it. So knowing that he's going 1, PFT's up on the clock at 2. What's the pick going to be?
It's got to be Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
And I know that everyone is linking Drake May, and there's all sorts of conversations there. Drake May has tremendous upside. You better be ready, though, with Drake May to sit him for a year. When you look at the history of drafting quarterbacks, numbers of starts, then you look at Drake May specifically, the inconsistency with his decision-making at times, with his footwork, which leads to, erratic accuracy. I think Drake May could wind up being the second best quarterback in this draft, maybe if put in the right situation and has time to develop like Patrick Mahomes had a full year, so to me, like I think in the right situation, he'll be great. Jaden Daniels, I got done with the tape at the end of the season, and I was like, damn, I don't know. Like if I'm just evaluating this past year, 2023, I don't see a huge difference between Caleb and Jaden. I don't. Like you got to remember, like with Caleb, there was that Notre Dame game, and there were losses at the end of the year, and he's trying to do too much, and he'll work that out of his system when he gets to the NFL and has more structure and a better defense and all those things. But from just based off the tape, and then you have the mobility with Jaden, the fact that like the improvement that he made over the last 2 years playing in a pro-style system, understanding and trusting his reads, I think he's got a chance to be special. And so when I'm done with the tape, I always try to kind of rack my board, figure out who I like, and then I start making calls. I promise you, of the dozens of calls that I've made from January to now with guys in the league, general managers, personnel directors, scouts, all over the league, there isn't one person I've spoken to that believes that Drake May should be drafted number 2 over Jaden Daniels.
Ooh.
I even talked to teams going back to February where teams were like, yeah, we're still debating between Caleb and Jaden at number 1. Okay. So it was like that first tier has been for teams has always been kind of Caleb and Jaden. And then the second tier is Drake. And then the third tier is JJ McCarthy. And then you get into the fourth tier when you can start talking about Michael Penix and Bo Nix and those guys.
Yeah, I also think Cliff Kingsbury as the OC in DC, I feel like Jaden Daniels would be the guy that he would want easily over Drake May, right? With the system that he runs?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see that. I think when you look at the system that Drake came from versus the system that Jaden came from, the 2 years that Jaden had at LSU, the mobility that he provides as an extra element, Cliff and what he was able to do with Kyler and what he's always wanted to do in his system, didn't always in college have mobile quarterbacks, but that was it. I remember sitting in Cliff's office talking to him. Like the next evolution for him was finding more mobility at the quarterback position because everyone's like, well, it's all air raid, it's Mike Leach and all that stuff. Well, really, like that all transformed from the Mike Leach system to what we've seen go on at Oklahoma and then USC recently. Like they Lincoln Riley adjusted it where you had like the guard tackle backside pulling and more physical, and then adding that element of the quarterback run. We saw a little bit with Baker, but more so with Kyler, and that's what Cliff saw going to Arizona. Was like, wait, I can run what we run. We can be more physical in the run game, but we got a quarterback that's going to give us numbers and get us out of trouble.
Yeah. That
to me is the pinnacle of where they want that system to be. And that's what Jaden provides. And Drake is mobile, but he's not Jaden.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Jaden's special. And you're right. I feel like if you're running the air raid system, it's great to have all those shots downfield, but it's also great to have a quarterback that if those are covered, you get an easy 10 yards. And
Yes.
Jaden Daniels was electric in college. We watched all of his games. We sat down. We watched the tape, Todd. Or
I know you did.
You know, we grind, right?
You guys have evolved. Like, I remember.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think the Josh Allen year you guys were studying the tape.
Oh.
You hit on it.
Yeah.
We watched the tape measure on his hands.
You
and they were big.
guys felt it felt like a highlight reel organization.
Yeah.
Now I see you guys with like the coaches click.
Now we're different.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's better be lucky than good with
So-
the Josh Allen year.
So on the tape that I've studied with Jaden Daniels, I noticed his elbow is kind of fucked up. Is that a problem at all? Is any team out there looking at his elbow and they're like, that elbow is too weird to be a quarterback?
It is weird, man.
Yeah. Have you ever seen an elbow like that?
Yeah, it's a little different. My favorite. I don't know if you've been on Twitter, but do yourself a favor if you want like 30 seconds of a laugh. Look up Jaden Daniels and Looney Tunes.
Okay. Okay.
There's someone I forget who did it. I wish I had it on me, but someone put together a reel of all the plays where because he for whatever.
Yeah, when he gets hit.
He gets car crashed.
Yeah, when he gets hit, he
And
gets
it's
hit.
like flailing arms, legs, like limbs everywhere.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So-
it's not awesome if you're a general manager.
Right.
And you're like, we're going to have to learn to slide a little bit better and make better decisions. But it's worth a 30-second laugh.
That's what some people in DC are a little bit gun shy about, and I get it because we still remember the RG3 years where he did not learn how to slide, and when he got hit, he would get
Yes.
hit. He was very, very bad at protecting himself. And actually, the wounds go a little bit deeper in DC. You can go all the way back to Jason Campbell, and he never learned how to slide either, and he was a first-round pick. So a lot of people in DC are a little bit afraid of getting a quarterback that doesn't know how to protect themselves. Yeah.
Here's the difference between Jaden and RG3. RG3 was a track sprinter. Everything was straight line. Like he was a 4.3 guy. His burst when he caught a crease, he could go. But he didn't. If you really studied him, he didn't have much wiggle.
Yeah.
He wasn't the twitch guy, the snap guy. So to me, like when you watch Jaden, he's both. He's fast and quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And that will allow him to protect himself better.
So there are a lot of guys in this draft that are declining workouts for whatever reason. They've got their own plan that they want to put forward. They're confident in their tape, showing it to general managers. They want to let that speak for itself. My question is, how in-depth are GMs getting and front offices getting when they break down film of a guy where they don't have a 40 time on paper for him? Are they comparing him on the field to players where they know that guy's 40 speed and they can kind of extrapolate what the true numbers for this prospect are? Or how important is it if a guy chooses not to do those specific drills?
To be honest with you, like if you're going to be a top 10 pick, and scouts and GMs around the league will hate me for saying this, if you know, like if it's certain you're going to be a top 5, 7, even 10, top 10 pick, and you're not competing with one other guy to go, like Marvin Harrison Jr., I think Malik Neighbors has a chance to be more dynamic and explosive, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is the most NFL-ready player at any position in this class. Marvin Harrison knows if he doesn't go number 4, he's going to go number 5 overall. He's going to very likely be the first non-quarterback drafted in this class, right? So what would you rather? Let me ask you this. What would you rather? This guy who you're going to make a $30+ million investment on for the next 5 years and has to show up and be ready, not only like for 2 years down the road and that 5-year investment, but right away we need this guy to be ready. Would you rather him training in a facility in Arizona or Florida, working on his box jumps and his get off speeds, takeoff speeds in the 40-yard dash? Or would you rather him, like Marvin Harrison Jr. has been, working with NFL veterans to continue to polish his route running and work on his certain aspects of his game, his flexibility, so that he's ready for week 1 more so than all these rookies. You talk to rookies halfway through their rookie year, and they're like, I'm exhausted. Like I wasn't in the football shape that I'm always used to being in. It wasn't a year-round training for football. It was training for the Olympics, right? And so to me, it only makes sense. And the other thing that the people get mixed up on this, 40-yard dash is great for television, and there's absolutely there's credence and value to it, especially at positions like wide receiver and cornerback. But today, like it's so different today with the catapult system, the miles per hour that we have. They're wearing the thing on their body, the GPS tracker.
Mm-hmm.
I know if a guy's running at max speed 21 miles per hour or 24 miles per hour.
Right.
And that translates to me. Like, I'm not saying we're ever going to get rid of the 40. I don't think that that's where we're headed at all, because it's another opportunity to see apples to apples comparison. But I now not only know what top speed is, but how fast they get to top speed. I know how fast they practice. I know how many steps they do. Like, I know everything about the movement of every player that I'm getting ready to draft, because you're not just doing it in the NFL college programs, you're doing it, from the day they step on campus.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does feel like we have more data than we've ever had. All right, so Drake May's going to go to the Patriots, even though Hank, our draft expert here on PMT, says that he wants Marvin Harrison and he doesn't care who's throwing to him, that it will work out. So after that, I think the intrigue in the top 10, and correct me if I'm wrong, is where is J.J. McCarthy going to go? And so give me your J.J. McCarthy take and then tell me where he's going to go, because he is confusing in the fact that we saw him play. He was phenomenal when he was asked to throw. He was not asked to throw a lot. And it's a typical guy who, if you ask 4 months ago, he's a second rounder. Now he's being talked about as the 4th pick overall. So tell us the J.J. McCarthy story and where you think he's going to end up.
J.J. McCarthy has all the traits. J.J. McCarthy's a winner. J.J. McCarthy, a year ago, we were worried, is he big and physical and strong enough? He's put on 15 pounds in the last year. He's got the kind of frame. He'll continue to get bigger and stronger, and he's been durable. J.J. McCarthy can process quickly enough and will continue to get better. And if you watch him throw it, here's the big thing. Here's how I would break it down and try to simplify it. Everything you need to see from him, you can see, especially now with the cut-ups and the third down and 7+ and all. You can find everything, but whereas for Caleb Williams, who's got more starts and was throwing the ball more, and for Jaden Daniels, a lot more starts and was in an offense that asked him to carry the team more, you're going to see 40 clips of one thing over the course of his career. JJ, you might only see 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a volume thing. How much volume in that catalog are you able to see? So is there risk in that? Absolutely. And the other thing, and when I talk to teams in the league, I always ask, how's this guy going to succeed? How's this guy going to fail? What would be your concern in drafting him? I always get the same thing. It's the lack of volume. I wish I could see more of these certain red zone, first down play, certain things that Michigan just was so committed to the run in their system. So it starts with the volume. And then the second thing that I always get is there wasn't a quarterback, no other quarterback in this class had the supporting cast that JJ had. And then the pushback is, well, wait a second, Jaden's got 2 first-round wide receivers he's throwing to. Yeah, but look at the protection. You're the Joe Moore, offensive line, the best offensive line in college football 2 years ago. They didn't win it this past year, but should have won it. We saw that against Washington, which wound up winning, how much more efficient and physical that offensive line was. So protection was there. System protected him. Defense was phenomenal the last 2 years for Michigan. So he was never put in a Caleb Williams situation where if we go out and score 40, we might lose.
Right.
So those are the two things that you debate there. If you're looking at the big picture now, Caleb's going 1. Jaden should absolutely go 2. Drake May is most likely going to go 3 to New England. I think there's a big time outside the box scenario where New England tries to move down, move back up, gets kind of crazy with it. But Robert Kraft is going to make sure that they get a quarterback that's exciting for New England moving forward in the future. So let's assume those 3 come off the board. Arizona is sitting at 4. Monty Ossenfort, the GM, has shown that he likes to move around. He did a lot of that last year. But they've got a bunch of picks. And so I don't know that moving back necessarily helps them. And when you get to know Monty and what he looks for and the physicality and looking the part and all those sorts of things, I just think that the Marvin Harrison Jr. makes too much sense. They need a weapon. They've got their quarterback that they're going to ride with for a little while because of the contract situation and what we know he can do when he's healthy. So I think they stick at 4 unless they get a phenomenal offer. I think that Arizona sticks at 4 and takes Marvin Harrison Jr. 5, though, is where the move is going to be made, in my opinion. The Chargers want out. Jim Harbaugh wants offensive line. And Joe Ortiz, the new general manager, came from the same tree, as Joe Douglas did with the Jets. They were all in Baltimore with Ozzie Newsome. And Ozzie's big thing is always, let's sit tight, trust our board. The player, if we have to draft there, we don't get a good deal. we know that the player we're going to get there is a good player, but let's wait for a team to panic.
Yeah.
And let's exploit them. Think about all the moves that Ozzie did moving back, exploiting teams that were in a panic in that, that 10, 15-minute clock. And that's what the Chargers are going to do. And Minnesota is the most likely team, as we know, sitting at 11. And obviously the 23rd pick, the trade they already made with Houston. So they have the picks to package to move up. They'll have to probably give away a number 2, worst case a number 1 next year. But I think Minnesota's the team that moves up and goes and gets J.J. McCarthy. And J.J.'s been tied to them for a long time. And by the way, I got news for you. With their play calling, with Justin Jefferson, with the protection they have, I would say, even though I think Caleb's better, and I think Jaden's better, I think Drake May has a higher upside. J.J. McCarthy could have the best rookie year of all the quarterbacks if he lands in Minnesota. That's the most desirable spot for these rookie quarterbacks.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. So who's the first defensive player to get drafted?
I'm glad you asked that. Because everyone's
Good job asking that.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Dallas Turner, the edge rusher from Alabama, is where I've had more time this year to read all these mock drafts. It's kind of comical, to be honest with you.
I love that. I love that McShay is like, wow, this is what I've been doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also
It's fan fiction. It's fan fiction for guys. It's the best.
I love it. I love it. And I got news for you. Everyone, like NFL teams try to, this macho thing where mock drafts are ridiculous. Well, there has been a general manager I've talked to that doesn't have some sort of system where they take the 3 or 4 mock drafts that they trust the most, put it into some database and plug it out and utilize that to try to figure out what other teams are doing.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So it is a tool used in the NFL. But what I'll say with the mock drafts is everyone has got Dallas Turner, the edge rusher from Alabama, going 8 to Atlanta. Like if you line up all the mock drafts, 8 to Atlanta. And maybe he is the first defensive player, and maybe that's where Atlanta goes. They certainly could use an edge. But the more people I've talked to in the league, the more I get the sense that Byron Murphy, defensive tackle from Texas, could be, and I don't want to say he's most likely, but if there's going to be a surprise in the top 10, it's Byron Murphy.
Okay.
Teams are looking for interior pass rushers. There's so few impact. Just think in the top of your head, like how many elite impact interior defensive lineman pass rushers are there?
Yeah, Aaron Donald was one.
Yeah, he retired.
You can get to 5, 6, 7, right in that range where you're like, yeah, that dude, we got to account for him.
Yeah.
And so Byron, with his quickness and power, and just the way he penetrates and disrupts, I think that he's going to be a major impact player. He's ready to play right away, and teams are looking for that. So I don't know if it's, Tennessee surprises at 7, Atlanta at 8, Chicago at 9, even though everyone's mocking a wide receiver. What if MHJ, Malik Neighbors, and Romo Junze are off the board? The Giants, we know Arizona. The Chargers could take a wide receiver, but I think they trade out. The Giants could take a receiver at 6. The Titans could take a receiver at 7. So all 3 of those receivers could be off the board, and Byron Murphy could be the pick at number 9 for the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
What's crazy is we're talking about all these great players, and there are a lot of good ones, but to me, the guy that is going to maybe have the best career out of all of them, we haven't even said his name yet, Brock Bowers, and it feels like Brock Bowers people are penciling him into the Jets right now. Is that going to be a pick where he falls to number 10 and everybody's like, shit, Brock Bowers, they got him. We should have taken him earlier.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. It could be. Here's the tough part with Brock Bowers. The tape is phenomenal. He's one of the 5 or 6 best football players in this draft. Everyone would agree, right? But he looks like a tall banker who played in a fraternity basketball, club league and he just doesn't look the part. Didn't run the 40 because he had the injury, and did the recent Georgia makeup pro day and did all the position drills. But so you don't have the 40 on him. He doesn't look the part. He's coming off the injury. And most importantly, all those things aside, because I think tape wins out on him, the tight end position, this is an investment. And you're investing in quarterbacks, pass rushers, wide receivers now, which wasn't always the case, but wide receivers because the game has changed so much, playmakers, and then guys who can cover those playmakers at cornerback.
Yeah.
And so are you willing to take a tight end who's not going to ever be a great blocker, doesn't necessarily look the part, all the physical traits, is he up there with everybody else? I think that's the question. But then I look at the Jets at 10, right? I think for Joe Douglas, again, we talked about Joe Ortiz, the new GM of the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, and how I would bet money that they move out of that number 5 spot. The Jets don't have a second round pick, and that's not a comfortable neighborhood for Joe Douglas to be living in right now. Okay. He needs offensive tackle. They brought in a couple, 33-year-olds or whatever their ages are as Band-Aids. But what if one of those guys gets injured, and the history says that one, if not both of those guys are going to get injured. So they want to draft an offensive tackle there, but you're sitting at 10. You don't have a second round pick because we traded it away as part of the Aaron Rodgers deal, and we don't pick again until the 3rd round. So I could see the Jets moving out of 10. Now that doesn't mean that Brock Bowers won't still be there if they make a deal to move back. What if JJ starts to fall?
Right.
And you've got the Raiders at 13. I don't know if they would want to move up, but certainly the Broncos at 12, even though they don't have a second round pick as well. What if they can move back 2 or 3 spots? I still think Bowers, if he doesn't go 10, the next place I would look at would maybe 15 to the Colts, 17. No, it's not 17. 14 to the Saints, 15 to the Colts, that range. So maybe the Jets move back and still are able to get Bowers, or maybe the Jets move back and get an offensive tackle. Yeah. Because if it's not Joe Alt out of Notre Dame, there's 6 or 7 offensive linemen, guys that are tackles that could move inside that are going to go in this first round. It's one of the best offensive tackle classes I can remember in the last decade.
I love to hear that.
We will get back to Todd McShay in a second. He's brought to you by our great friends over at Chevy. As everyone knows, this is a Chevy truck podcast. Chevy trucks are the greatest trucks ever built, and our good friends at Chevrolet have been a big part of the Part of My Take story. From the Silverado helping us dig the biggest hole ever dug in Ohio during Grit Week, to Silverado partnering with us to give college fullbacks all the rightful recognition they deserve with the Lowman Award, to our nonstop cross-country trip to the big game in L.A. behind the wheel of a Chevy Silverado. Silverado has been part of it all. Chevy Silverado, longtime awesome partner of the show, a truck with commanding and unstoppable grit, legendary capability, and dependability too. So find out for yourself. Like so many other AWLs, head to Chevy.com. Check out all the Chevy truck grit, build your own Silverado, and check out what current offers they have there during Chevy truck season. For do-it-yourself projects to road trips, off-road adventures to tailgates, whatever your thing is, it all starts with a Chevy truck. Get a Silverado before next football season. It's the best truck to tailgate with, by far. This interview is also being brought to you by Visible. You can switch to Visible, the wireless company with nothing to hide, and get one-line wireless with unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon. Just $25 a month every month, taxes and fees included. One-line wireless, just $25 a month, taxes and fees included. Visible is the wireless company with nothing to hide. No hidden fees, no gotchas. Unlimited 5G data, powered by Verizon. Switch now at Visible.com. Don't let the hidden fees stop you from being a fan of wireless. Switch to Visible and save. Bench wireless with hidden fees. Switch to Visible. Rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. Switch now at Visible.com. And here's more McShay.
Brock Bowers, the mistake Brock Bowers made was taking that picture next to Gronk. If he didn't take that picture next to Gronk, I think everything would be fine. Everything would be fine. That one picture.
Like, wait. Yeah. That guy was what he was in the league. That's what it's supposed to look like. Who's that guy?
And he was wearing the black shoes too, that made him look like he was he was a banker. Yeah. You're right. It's tough. All right, so you said something there. The wide receiver class, it is now become. It used to not be something that teams would draft as high as they're drafting. Now it's just every year got to get one of these guys. It's, from all I've read, one of the best wide receiver drafts. You have Marvin Harrison, Odunze, and Neighbors. Who, though, after that is someone that you're very high on that might be in the late first round, early second round, that teams can be like, look, if we don't get one of these 3 guys, we can wait and we can get a really, really good wide receiver going forward?
I think it's going to be another year. We've seen this historically. I think it's going to be another year where there are 2 or 3 guys in the second round that wind up being more productive than 1 or 2 guys in the first round.
Yeah.
I really do. And I believe strongly in Marvin Harrison Jr. Doesn't have the twitch and kind of that after the catch ability that Malik Neighbors has, but Malik doesn't have the size of Marvin Harrison Jr. But they're both going to be absolute stars in the NFL. Rome Odunze is going to be a damn good player. Devontae Adams is probably the best case, but he's that kind of player, okay? After that, you've got A.D. Mitchell from Texas. I think Brian Thomas would probably wind up being from the other LSU receiver, probably being the fourth receiver off the board. Xavier Mitchell, or Xavier Worthy, the other Texas wide receiver. Those are the guys that I think will wind up going in the first round. But I'm telling you right now, Ladd McConkey from Georgia is so dynamic in terms of his route running ability to separate, and after the catch ability and the consistency with his hands. Ricky Pearsall from Florida is the best route runner in this class, and everyone's like, yeah, well, he's not overly fast. He's not dynamic and explosive. Well, he ran a 4.41 in his 40-yard dash, right? And he had a 42-inch vertical. You can't tell me he's not explosive. And so Ladd McConkey, Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Legette from South Carolina is a player that I look at like I could get him in the second round. And so to me, like here's how it's going to play out. All these receivers, the top three receivers are going to come off the board quickly, but there's a bunch of teams that have tackle and wide receiver as their top needs, if you will. If I look at it as a combination of the two, like combo picks, I call them, right? Arizona picks at 4 and 35. I think they're going to take Marvin Harrison Jr., but wouldn't you maybe rather have Joe Alt, the best left tackle in this class, and then get a Xavier Legette in the second round? Chargers 5 and 37. Again, they could move out of that spot. But what if they take Joe Alt instead at number 5, and then at 37 you get a Ladd McConkey? The Giants at 6 and 47. They traded out. They gave their pick away to Carolina for 39, but they have the 47th pick. So in another trade. That's another team, tackle, wide receiver. The Titans, 7 and 38. So there are 4 teams there. It's going to be interesting to see. Are we just going to get the best wide receiver and try to get tackle in the second round? Or do we realize there's a hell of a lot more depth? Because everyone's talking about how great this tackle class is, and it is. I mean, you've got Joe Alt, Talisa Fuaga from Oregon State, Oli Fashanu from Penn State. You got J.C. Latham from Alabama, Amarius Mims from Georgia, Troy Fautanu from Washington, Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. All those guys, though, are going in the first round. And then there's kind of a significant drop-off in the second round. So while we're all talking about wide receiver, it won't shock me if the tackles go faster than expected, and then there's a big run on receivers late first, early second.
Yeah.
Got it.
Xavier Worthy to Las Vegas. That just seems like a great fit. If we're going based on like history of teams, drafting based on specific traits, you can pencil
Al Davis was still alive.
Yeah. I would just love to see that. I would love to see the Ouija board that they have set up in the draft room tell them Xavier Worthy no matter what.
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So what about Cooper DeJean? We've taken an interest in Cooper DeJean. Player comp in the NFL. I've got Jason Sehorn and then those snaps where Julian Edelman played defense. So he's going to be a first rounder, right?
You guys are something.
He's going in the first round.
He's going in the first round. He just had his makeup pro day, if you will, at Iowa. Ran a 4 in the low 4.4s, depending on the scout you talk to. He's a great player. Mm-hmm. He's a versatile player. He can play slot. He can play outside corner. He can play free safety. He might be an all-pro punt returner too. I mean, this guy, he's a difference maker. I think you guys can do better with your comps.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can dig a little deeper.
Chris Conti?
I'm like almost a more mobile Reed Doughty.
Hey, was that? What did teams think about the letter he sent? Kind of a try-hard move.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Did he actually write a letter, or was it an email?
That I don't know. I believe it was a letter and an email is my understanding.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, so I got another weird question. This draft is going to be significant in the fact that we could finally see Sean McVay take a first-round pick. Will that happen? Yep. It's crazy to say, but Sean McVay has never had a first-round pick in the draft. They've traded a million times. The last first-round pick the Rams had was Jared Goff. That was Jeff Fisher. So will they actually take a first-round pick this year? Will they actually select in the first round? And does Sean McVay even know what to do with that?
I mean, it's really more Les Snead. I mean, it's them together. Les Snead, the general manager, is a good bud of mine. And I love F the draft?
Yeah.
Fuck them picks.
Fuck them picks.
Fuck them picks. I could see them packaging picks and going to move up.
Oh.
Like get rid of some more picks, right? Like we don't care. But what about quarterback for the Rams?
Oh.
Interesting. What about
Are Bo Nix and Michael Penix like it feels like one of the two of them is going to drop.
Michael Penix, I think Michael Penix is going to go in the first round, and I don't agree with it. I have a second round grade on him. I think he has starting caliber. He's the best pure passer in this class. That's what we said about C.J. Stroud last year. But C.J. Stroud didn't have the durability issues. C.J. Stroud, even though he didn't like to run, was more mobile. Like I said, like with every general manager I talk to, it's how is this guy going to succeed? And we know he's going to succeed. Penix is if he has great protection and good weapons and can throw down the field. That's where he excels. How's he going to fail though? And that's, as a scout, you better be prepared to walk into the GM's office and say, like, give me the reasons why he would fail and what we would have to do to prevent him from failing. Well, we got to see in a 2-game span, right, in the CFP semifinal and in the national championship, how he's going to succeed against Texas. Protection, deep ball. When everything's right, he's going to be able to pick you apart. And then we saw how he's going to fail. Mix up coverages, confuse him, make him stay in the pocket a quarter count longer than he's comfortable. And it's not that he can't read. He can read as fast as any one of these guys. But it's the lack of mobility in the pocket and then the durability. And he's tough as nails. He fought through that game, but he took too many hits. And I think that's going to happen in the league. And I worry about him holding up. But he's had the multiple knee injuries in the past. But at the end of the day, it's interesting. When I talk to people in the league at the end of the season, let's go back to the beginning of the season. Coming into the year, day 3 guy, okay? End of the season, 3rd, 4th, that range. Then it was, as the coaches got involved, it became absolutely second round. And now as we get close and everyone's looking at it, you're starting to hear somewhere in the first. I've even heard rumors, maybe the Raiders at 13. That's too rich for me. But I think Michael Penix goes in the first round. Bo Nix is fascinating to me. Now, I was talking to Kiper about this the other day. Like Bo Nix, everyone puts him at 12 to the – and again, I'm reading too many mock drafts this year because I'm bored at times. Bo Nix is going 12, and the Sean Payton – comparing him to Drew Brees and the running in college, the hand span. Like I've heard some of the most ridiculous things. But Bo Nix, if he doesn't go 12 to Denver, is a second round pick, according to everybody. Well, I talk to people in the league and across the board, and it's the same thing as I see. He's a backup. He's a great guy. Unbelievable interview. Son of a former player at Auburn, the coach, all that. Like he's been around the game. He's tough. He's everything you look for from a character and leadership standpoint. But talent-wise, I don't see a first rounder. So to me, Bo Nix belongs in the second round. I think there are 5 quarterbacks that are going to go: Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, and Michael Penix. And I think round 2 is where you'll see Bo Nix go.
That makes sense. So all right, so who's your favorite first round pick that no one's talking about? Because we've obviously heard all about the quarterbacks. We've heard all about the wide receivers. We've heard about the top-end offensive tackles. Who's the guy that you keep looking at and you're like, whoever gets this guy is going to be just so happy?
I mentioned him before, but I'll go back to Ladd McConkey.
Okay. But he might not go in the first round. So who else?
I'm going to say he's going in the first round.
Oh, okay.
Braden Fisk from Florida State, defensive tackle, short arms. No one likes him. Might go early second, but so it doesn't fit what you're saying. But I think he's going to outplay a lot of guys that go ahead of him. I think he's a star. I would say guys that are definitely going to go in the first round that are overlooked. I gave you Cooper DeJean. I'm just looking down my list. Quinion Mitchell's got a lot of love. I mean, there's a lot. How about Nate Wiggins, cornerback, Clemson?
Okay.
Burner. Everyone sees, the 4.28. I think he ran a 4.28 at the combine, but he pulled a muscle, when he did it, and that's what you worry about, these quick twitch guys. But the thing is that he's not just a speed guy. He can play off coverage, press coverage. He plays zone and man. I think that Nate Wiggins is going to wind up being a really good cornerback. And this is a good class. Like Terrion Arnold from Alabama. Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be late first, early second round, also the Alabama cornerback. Quinion Mitchell has had a phenomenal past couple of years, great at the Senior Bowl. exceptional combine workout. He just nailed the whole process. So those guys are all going to come off the board in the first round with Cooper DeJean as well. But Nate Wiggins could wind up being the third, fourth cornerback taken, and I think he could wind up being maybe, I don't want to say the best, but maybe the second best cornerback in this class. And I think he's ready to start right away, even though he's only 173 pounds.
I like the answer because we just need one guy that when he gets picked, we can be like, oh, that's actually an incredible pick.
Great value.
Yeah, we know ball.
Yeah.
I have a random name for you. I don't know if PFT knows this, but we have another Danny Woodhead who's going to get drafted. Dylan Lobb out of New Hampshire.
You guys are really on this.
Yeah.
On this. Yep.
I've done my research.
Dylan Lobb out of New Hampshire caught 68 balls in 10 games as a running back. Where's he going to get drafted, and is he the new Danny Woodhead?
He could be. And the only reason I say that, it's not because of the color of his skin. And you guys are really focusing on that.
No, that's about the catching passes. I didn't even know.
Is he a white guy?
Let me look it up.
Okay, hang on. Wait, stand by. When I watched
He
the
does
tape,
happen
I don't
to be white. He
I don't
does
even
happen
notice.
to be white. I had no idea until
Yeah, he looks
you said
white.
that. Yeah,
Dylan?
Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan's
Out of New
white.
Hampshire.
All right. So we're off of that angle. No, it's because of the pass catching. He's like a receiver out of the running back spot. He had a great week at the Senior Bowl. Productive, tough. Some of his, if you go back and study his tape too, some of his best production was in the biggest games against the best competition. I think he's going to be it's an interesting running back class. It's not going to be a first rounder. I think we could go late into the second round before a running back is taken. Jonathan Brooks should be the first running back off the board coming out of Texas. I think there's going to be a bunch of guys in the third, fourth, fifth round range. I would say worst case Lob is going to be 6, but I honestly think he could go in the 5th.
Okay, and then sticking on running backs, where's my guy Braylon Allen? Like I hope he does well as a pro. He needs to, obviously he's not a great pass catcher, but I weirdly want him to go to the Chargers because I feel like Jim Harbaugh would just be like, all right, we got this beast. We can just run the ball right down your throat.
Some teams will like him more than others. And I think, Harbaugh, I think teams that are gap power scheme, want to run the ball north-south, give him 15 carries per game as a backup. It's rotating in and out. He makes sense. I don't love him as much as some other guys do. I just think it's a league where you got to be able to catch. You got to have something dynamic to create on your own. I know he generates yards after initial contact with his power. I think, to me, he's a 4th round draft pick. Best case, he goes in the 3rd.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I love this time of year because we get the anonymous scouts that are leaking things all over the map. We get stories of, I think it was Justin Blackman, where one team had a scout that spent a week in a bar just to see how many times Justin Blackman showed up to that bar. What's the weirdest story that you've heard of in terms of evaluating a player before the draft happens, where a team is thinking something really strange outside the box to figure out whether or not this is going to be the guy they want?
Oh, jeez. I've talked to scouts that have had to spend like a week in a small town, and have fall. They're also here's the thing that always surprises me. NFL teams have their security groups, right? And typically they're former FBI guys. And the lengths in which that they go and they send it, like it won't be the director of security, but they'll send out one of their guys and like literally follow them. Like he's a suspect in a case.
Yeah.
That to me is like, it's pretty amazing that they will go to that. Like if they're considering first round, but we have concerns, let's follow him around and see what he's doing. Because there is this free time, and we saw that with Sweat, the defensive tackle from Texas. There's kind of this free time where the pro days are done, some of the individual workouts, your schedule is done. And now this free time where you're not training for the combine anymore. We've seen year after year, players tend to get in trouble during this period, like the 2 weeks, 3 weeks leading up to the draft, because they finally can go settle down and they're done with the pre-draft process. And so, I think former FBI guys sending members of their staff to go like literally follow like they're a criminal,
like Goodfellas, the helicopter following them around.
Yeah. I've only heard in cars, but maybe the helicopter's been.
That's crazy. So on that same note, if the Laramie Tunsil draft happened today, would any team drop him at all, 1 or 2 spots off their board because he was smoking weed on camera?
No, the thing with Laramie Tunsil that it was when the information came out, right? And there was obviously we know the whole story now, being a former handler, a guy who thought he was going to make some money off of him.
Yeah.
got pissed off and leaked it purposely that day so that teams didn't have time to call their security group and to go and get the answer. So it was like everyone in the top 10 was on the clock trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have the time. If it happened today, I mean, first of all, I think we've come a long way with smoking pot, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's viewed very differently now. So I don't think it would be I don't think you would drop it all, just to give you a quick answer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily the quote unquote crime as much as it was the timing of the incident.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I got a couple last questions. So in a war room on draft night, how does a good draft room work where the GM, he's got his big board? Is it so that a guy could stand up and be like, look, I'm going to put my reputation on this guy? Like, do each of the scouts have a certain amount of guys where they will stand up and be like, I want this guy. I'm telling you it's a good pick.
That's done before. None of this stuff is done. What's going on in the war room is the calls from other teams, figuring out who's coming off the board, moving the players with their magnets off the board and all that stuff. So at that point, everything's set.
Right.
Okay. But the meetings before, some of the stories I get, and I can't share a whole lot, but some of the stories you get with, like, you hear the pounding of the table. It's really just yelling and screaming across and teams got to the point, a couple decades ago where it got so heated that teams were like, all right, listen, whether it's like a red dot player or a star player, depending on the team, you get a sticker. And each scout gets to go up, and whether it's 1, 2, 3 guys, depending on the organization, and put a sticker on that one or two guys from his area or the positions that he did, because the scouts, you got to remember, like, all these scouts get to know these players, almost like you're recruiting them in the house, know their parents, know who their agents are, know all the background. They've done so much work on them, personally. They get to really know the individual. And there's certain guys, when you're done, and I've evaluated now in my region, 500 players, and whittled it down to like 100 guys that could be, that we're presenting, and then the team only has 175 guys or 150 on our overall board. But like, once you set the board and there's less than a couple hundred players on that board, who are the guys that you're going to red stamp or whatever, put a star on, and that kind of, when you're on the board and all of a sudden, let's say you're in the pick 20 and 19 guys have come off the board, it's typically not a first rounder. It's much more like second, third, fourth round. But now we've got a cluster of 5, 6, 7 guys with the same grade. And if position value, like if they don't have such a need and it's really about taking the best player, they'll look at that and say, you know what? Sammy, our Southeast scout, swears by this guy. We'll put his reputation on the line. That's where that stuff happens, is like 2 weeks leading up to the draft.
Got it.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
What's the spread
Yeah.
like in a draft room? Like, do they eat dinner before they get started? Do they order pizza?
Good question.
Thanks.
I've been working at ESPN. I know our spread, if I'm just going to be honest, was lacking. But we would order lunches and dinners, like sandwiches and stuff like that, and you just never want to eat anyway until it's done. And if you're Kiper, you don't eat or take a sip of water for 72 hours. So, but in the draft room, like there's food outside of the war room, and then there's snacks. Like, it's big snacks. Everyone talks about what the snacks are and who has the best snacks.
Yeah.
And, you lobby for what snacks you want. And obviously there's a hierarchy. And
You have a big
and all
board.
that.
Yeah, you have a
Yeah,
draft.
but you're in
board
there.
for
Like,
snacks.
it's 3 days. And like,
Uh-huh.
what else? I mean, you got your diet sodas, you got your coffee, and you got your snacks. Like, it's just you and your snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
standing.
Yeah.
I'd be standing on the table for Dots pretzels. I'd be like, bring in the Dots pretzels.
Yeah.
Swedish fish. Yeah. Give you a little
But
change
that's
of
when you
pace.
got
Yeah.
like, it's all about relationships, right? Like, you got to know who's pulling the trigger, who's making that decision. Like, am I talking to the GM about this, or do we have like a director of ops? So like,
Yeah.
you've got to make sure have a good relationship with the guy who's making that decision, because now you're looking at 72 hours of your life.
Yep.
And if you get shitty snacks
Yeah.
or snacks that you don't like,
Can ruin a
you're
draft.
you're in a spot.
Yeah,
You're in a spot.
I have like character concerns about Papa John's pizza,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I could work around those if the ceiling's high enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Like, the breadsticks are better with the dipping sauce.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right,
Yeah.
I got one last question. It's a rowback question. RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE. 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Roback.com, promo code TAKE. We love having Todd on every year. He's the best. I found out something that Mel Kiper is, you just like every year you find out something new that just shocks you. So you can tell me if this is wrong or a little off. Mel Kiper doesn't own a cell phone and he has 5 house phones?
Yes. So let's pull this up. You ready?
What?
Let's pull this up. Kiper. All right. So I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
Probably can't. I don't know. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different numbers for Mel. And if I want to text, I was just texting the other. If I want to get through to Mel, look at all these texts. Right?
What are they? They're just you just.
It's to Kim. It's to Kim.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's to his wife.
I asked him. I asked him. I said, I want any chance I could talk to Mel. I'm doing something with Mel next week. Let's put it that way. I don't want to go into too much detail. And Kim writes back, hey Todd, how are you? Yeah, I'll ask him. I'm sure he'll get back to you today. I'm like, all right, great. So like I got to work through, and I always busted him on that. And the problem is, you call the house, and Kim will pick up. And like, hey, and I'll talk to Kim for like 10 minutes before I even get to Mel. And then Mel will pick up from a different landline, right? It's not like a cell phone at home. It's like back in like the 80s where it's like you hear another phone. Hey, Todd, how are you? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's definitely a throwback to my childhood. I don't even know if it was for you.
Yeah, house phones for
you
sure.
You guys had landlines and all that?
Yeah, landlines, big time.
With like I just picture Kiper like pacing with the cord getting stuck around him.
Yeah. And it's just, it's crazy to have no cell phone but 5 landlines.
Yeah, that's wild. I wonder if he even has wireless phones or if they're just cordless.
Oh.
I mean, cordless or has the cord that, like you said, gets wrapped around.
I'll tell you, because I've been talking to Mel a lot recently. It sounds like he's picking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It's not like that click in the beep, like the it sounds like he is like
picking it up.
Yeah, I think I'll get to the bottom of it. Okay. I'll shoot you a text.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure his hand is going down. He's picking it up, and there's a cord coming with it.
I love
That's
that.
incredible. Well, Todd, thank you as always, man. We really appreciate it. You're the best, and we're excited for draft.
Yeah, let's go. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Thanks, Todd. Todd McShay was brought to you by Pardon My Cheesesteak. Pardon My Cheesesteak is awesome. It's delicious. I like to secret shop it. About once a month now, I'll order Pardon My Cheesesteak just to make sure it still tastes great. Newsflash, it still does. And we've got a big week ahead, NFL Draft Week. We're headed to Detroit, and we're bringing the Pardon My Cheesesteak food truck with us. Alongside our friends at Pepsi, we're going to be serving up new exclusive Pepsi-infused Pardon My Cheesesteak sandwiches, the Hot Seat and the PM Beef. Those are the 2 names of the sandwiches that we're serving up. The Hot Seat and the PM Beef. We'll be working the truck. We're going to give out merch. We're going to enjoy the eve of the NFL Draft with you, the fans. If you're in town because your team has a great pick, if you're excited about who you're going to take, you're in Detroit, stop by. We want to see you on Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come to Reserved Lot, 2217 Woodward Ave in Detroit. That's 2217 Woodward Ave in Detroit. Come hang with us. Part of My Cheesesteak and Pepsi are on the menu because cheesesteaks taste even better with a Pepsi. Or 2 if you're Max. See you there.
Okay, let's wrap up the show. And
There's one other thing that we didn't talk about with McShay with the draft that I meant to mention last week. It's also related to Topgolf, which is a good sponsor.
Yeah.
Did you hear about how the Commanders did their visits with all the top prospects?
Oh, in Topgolf?
I think they had 20 different guys.
I like this.
But what they did was they took all of them to Topgolf at the same time. And they just watched them play Topgolf and watched them compete.
I like
So we had like Jaden, Drake, JJ, all those guys just playing Topgolf and evaluating them. I'm going to wait to see how this plays out to determine whether or not I like that or not.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a...
Watch them compete.
I guess it's...
JJ was there?
I think so. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, no.
I'm just...
Oh, Hank, you and your little smug face.
He's feeling himself.
Yeah, he is.
I was just clarifying.
We can't do a podcast when you have a double win weekend.
Yeah.
The double win weekends are just...
Really talkative this week.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
Thanks.
feeling
Max is nodding
Yeah.
violently. Okay. Mr. Pear, try to win 1 pick challenge. That's all he's got to do is try to win 1 fucking pick. This stupid fucking turtle. Now,
Well, I thought we were talking about the.
yeah, the play-in game, technically the stats don't count, so Mr. Pear, you could say is 0-0.
0-0. If you want to give him that excuse, I personally don't believe in excuses.
I think we got to switch to puck.
Well, we're going to do puck, too. So he's got the Knicks and Sixers out there right now. We're going to see what he does. While we wait for Max to set it up, I had a hypothetical for you guys. Just a crazy hypothetical. You ready for it? If you could pick any decade that you could live in instead of this one, what would you pick?
Hypothetically?
Hypothetically.
I think there are a couple spring to mind.
Wait.
Any
Decade?
Any decade.
Like,
You want me to go first?
the 12-15s would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
The 60s.
I would go 1830s with no racism.
Okay.
I just think that would rock. Don't you guys?
What happened in the 1830s?
Just no racism, though.
Going towards the Sixers.
It's going towards the Sixers. Would you guys say that's profound by me? Would you say that's like almost poetry?
I think that's very deep.
Yeah.
Why? Who said that?
Taylor Swift.
Okay. Yeah.
That's one of her lyrics.
You know what?
My friends used to play a game where we would pick a decade we wished we could live in. Instead of this, I'd say the 1830s, but without all the racists and getting married off for the highest bid.
Okay, so here's the thing about that.
Wolfing the lettuce down.
Oh, he went Sixers.
I want to
Sixers hard.
I want to get back to Taylor though for just 1 second, if I could.
You do the puck. Do the
Sixers.
puck. Get the puck.
So why didn't she just say like the entirety of
What about the sexism?
the world without racism?
No, she mentioned sexism. She said,
Why is she only-
getting married off for the highest bid?
Why is she only getting rid of racism in the 1830s?
Good question.
Like some may say it was worse in the 1840s,
Yeah.
and then now that decade is just super racist.
Also, if you got rid of it earlier, maybe you get rid of a lot of other bad shit.
You know what I would get rid of all the racists.
Yeah. Well, she did say, yeah, I'd say the 1830s, but without all the racists.
Okay,
What
Still-
that's a beautiful line.
racists in the 1820s
Poetry.
wiping their brow. That was a close one.
What are you saying, Max? Hank's help. So Mr. Pear has picked the Sixers.
I did listen to the Taylor Swift album in its entirety.
I listened to some of it.
I think
You must have missed that banger of a line.
I did miss that one banger. Some of the songs kind of sound the same.
Some people were saying, not me, that it was mid.
Some of the songs I can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, did I already listen to this one? But that was like 3 songs ago.
Well, if you have 30 songs, do you have an album?
I thought it was great.
Was the GTA line true?
It is very funny watching people just say. I saw some people just say like, I'm a huge Swiftie. I love all her music. I did not think this was a great album, and people just fucking ruining them, just ruining them.
I am. Listen, she's versatile. Okay, she can do pop. She can do R&B. She can do country.
Maple Leafs.
Name one other female singer that can do all 3 of those things.
She's an incredible artist. It's okay if she didn't have.
Mr. Pear is hungry tonight.
Not everyone has the best albums all the time.
She said, "Touch me." I don't know. She said, "Touch me while your bros play Grand Theft Auto."
Another poet. That's a
That's a
poetry line.
bar.
That's a poetry line.
Did she really say that?
That's poetry.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, someone told me that last night. Who I wasn't sure if that was, I believed him or not. But
Canucks won.
Okay, I'm
Came
looking
back.
I'm gonna have to. I'm checking this right now.
So Mr. Pear
So
has
high
the
school.
Maple Leafs and the Sixers. Oh no.
Didn't Hank say they're the same team?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Oh no.
Mr. Pear might
Mr.
stink.
Pear loves
might
losers.
be a Mr. Pear fade parlay.
Yeah, fade the turtle.
I'm gonna give Mr. Pear one more shot. This fucking idiot.
We can go back even Steven.
Look at him. He's fucking eating. Mr. Pear, look at me, bitch. You gotta win. He's gotta win.
You know how to ball. I know Aristotle. Brand new, full throttle.
Was Aristotle?
Touch me while your bros play Grand Theft Auto.
Oh man. Was Aristotle was a pedophile?
Probably.
All those
He's
guys
Greek,
were,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All those guys they just hung out at the pool and just got sucked off by little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And those are the smartest
The
guys?
smartest guys ever.
Smartest guys ever?
Yeah.
Literally ever?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're taught.
Okay. Makes sense. Mr. Pear, I like that we're like roasting Aristotle while we have a fucking
Dude,
turtle pick games for us.
Aristotle's
Those morons.
Aristotle's overrated. Socrates, now that's a thinker.
Plato, what was he? He was a pedophile?
Probably, yeah.
One of Plato's dialogues says Socrates took a youth's question only to bet him later on. But the age of the young man could be disputed.
This fucking guy.
Plato almost certainly didn't, because we know from his writings that he thought only heterosexual sex is truly beneficial. Aristotle probably didn't.
Yeah, but you can be.
What is pedestry? The act of being a pedophile?
I think it's, yeah.
This was actually around the time that pedestry
I think
was
that's
starting
like
to
you
be
go-
seen as
you
unethical
go
by
get your-
most philosophers.
Yeah, you get your degree in pedestry.
Oh, Stoic was a philosopher?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, it was a philosophy. Stoicism? I don't know. Maybe there was a guy named Stoic.
Epicurus and the Stoics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to get has anyone written about
Aristotle is a definite no. He came from Macedonia and was appalled by the
Macedonia.
Macedonia. Have they ever there had to have been one dude in that crew who just wasn't smart enough to come up with something really awesome?
Well, I think that dude was Alexander the Great, because they taught him, and then he tried to rephrase what they said and became like a philosopher king. But everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, you're so smart," because he would have killed him if they didn't.
But I'm saying of not even a king, one of the there's probably a fat dude named Doug who was just like, "What about this, Socrates?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Nah, bro, you don't got it." I want to know his story.
Yeah,
He's just
the guy that failed.
Yeah, he was he was gonna be next up, and he just could never quite get it all together.
Or the class clown in there. How much Aristotle must have hated anybody that made jokes during his class.
Yeah.
Somebody that was cooler than him.
Socrates and Plato are famously known for not cheating on their wives.
That sounds like they
definitely
did.
cheated on their wives.
Yeah. Who wrote that? Socrates? Well, they probably were
Tim
like,
McLennan.
it's not cheating on my wife if it's a kid.
Yeah.
They probably had stupid rules like that.
I spent the entire last summer not cheating on my wife.
Hank, maybe we need Hank to just give us philosophy 101.
If David Stern was in a class with Socrates and asked him, "Have you stopped beating your wife yet?"
Yeah.
Socrates' brain would have exploded.
Yeah.
I've not even thought of pondering such a question so smart.
And then Doug in the background would have been like, "No, he beats her every fucking week."
Yeah.
Shut up, Doug. The fuck, man? I'm trying to do some philosophy and diddle some kids. All right. Numbers.
Was Socrates gay? Well, he gave me a BJ at a gay club in Athens, close 230 BC. Draw your own conclusions.
8.
40.
Did you say it?
20.
I did say
Three,
okay.
three.
20.
18.
What was the total numbers? Oh, 73. 73.
99 puck. 21.
Hank, did you say it?
40.
What's 40, Hank?
Jordy 40.
Okay, that didn't answer that. $36.
Love you guys.